my voice.
That's what Nathan was
those,
saying.
I know.
So those are genuinely useful if we do anything other than sit on this couch.
Okay.
That's
So if we're,
that's
like,
the
roaming,
trick.
if we're doing-
Yeah, if we're
What if we
doing
pound
something
on
where
this
we're
couch?
up and about, those are
Yeah, right from
Oh,
Yeah,
Price
that
would
is
actually really like that. We could have done this while playing hide and seek.
Oh yeah.
We could just be in different.
We could have been out in the yard and just
That
like,
would be fun.
And Jill has a megaphone that she just yells, "Price, your turn!" And then Price is like, "All right, guys. So, hold on. My least favorite movie."
Yeah, we do like a Where's Waldo kind of thing. Where
Yeah.
there's a big shot of the city, and you can like try and figure out where we
Where
are.
we
while
are.
We're all like whispering
Yeah.
our.
Yeah.
I'll be like, my least favorite movie was Inception. And Dale's just like, motherfucker.
We'd have to be like in a packed mall, and it's like an overhead cam, and it
Yeah.
sees like all these people, but then it's just like
Yeah.
Charging the
barreling through.
what you say. Anyways,
Go for it, Dylan.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking
You're
about.
still-
I'm thinking about you saying Ellen Page. Jesus fucking Christ.
Why?
Because I thought about Inception, and then I thought Ellen Page. And then I thought Mason saying
Was that your
I'm-
favorite song?
I'm
The
broken.
wah.
No.
It's still the best song.
I got to.
Wouldn't that be a score?
Yeah, it'd be a score.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a score, not a song.
I was wondering if anybody was going to like
on
differentiate
that?
that because I did.
On the
There's
question,
I mean,
it
that's
says
a
score song.
clear. Like, why would you have two categories if there's not a difference?
Right.
Did you differentiate the two between soundtrack and score?
It's one or the other is how I took it.
No, it's
No, it's
It's
both.
best score.
Or.
No.
Did
Not
you not?
and.
So there was best song and
Yes.
then there was best score.
Correct.
It's not right.
sound.
It said
No, it's
score
best
slash
soundtrack.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
I picked one.
There
for
is a
each.
best sound. There is a
Yeah.
best song.
I picked one for each.
I picked that.
I'm tired of getting yelled at with having done nothing
All
wrong.
right.
Yes.
All right.
I've had to defend myself
Jill,
twice.
count us down from 5.
5,
Okay.
4,
Cheeks.
3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
Welcome to the. What were you doing?
What he was doing.
Shake waving?
That's not what I was doing.
Welcome to the very special
Well, he did say he
wanted
wanted to do something with his hand.
You do want to do something with his hand. Yeah. Can we give him a shake weight the entire
I'll
time?
do that the whole time.
Hey, Kelly Jr. Hey, Kelly Sr. Welcome to the 200th episode special of the Effing Movie Podcast. We're your hosts. Still, none of us has died yet.
Damn.
Or
Suddenly-
Are
We're
we?
getting closer
It's gonna
though.
be real sad when this comes out. If when
Yeah,
something
and it's
has
gonna
happened.
open
yeah.
with in memoriam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan starts playing in the arms of an angel.
There's just really crappy pictures
Yeah.
of Mason.
It's,
Right.
it's the only copyright we've ever actually paid for because it was that serious.
It was. You know what? Played at my funeral.
Play this at your funeral.
Yeah. I would get a good laugh at that. Except I'm not here.
Hannah
I'll
would
have-
be pissed.
Hannah would own it. She'd be like, this is what he would want. Anyways, we're your hosts, Bryce, Mason, Dylan, and Nathan. All here. All 200 episodes. Who keeps letting us do this show? The internet? We haven't got canceled. We're not big enough to get canceled.
I mean,
Yeah.
if we've been doing this consistently every week, that would have been 4 years of doing this.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not far off.
Yeah, we're
We're
right around.
probably like 5, I thought.
No, or maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little over, but we're
yeah,
we're
smidgen
fairly
over.
consistent.
Yeah. I'm sure
Yeah.
we haven't met, and we typically make up. You know,
Yeah.
that's true. So, welcome to our senior year of doing this show.
5-year seniors.
Yeah, this is the graduating. This is graduation.
Listen,
Just let him continue.
let me do this. All right. Listen, it took me 4, Mason. I don't know about you.
Just have them look at the time
You
code,
don't
and we're
know.
already wasting their time.
Listen. If you thought
Well,
we
they've
were
already stopped watching at this point.
Yeah,
Now
that's
watch
true.
time's 4 minutes.
Yep. So and they're gone. Now that
Now
we
for the real ones.
now that the real ones are, I
We
can say.
weed you all out.
We are going to go ahead and do our special episode. With today's show, we're going to sit here and, you know that time where we read through all of our favorites and the accolades, and it's like the yearbook. What am I thinking of? What are those titles called?
Oh gosh.
Superlatives.
The best
Superlatives.
dressed, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing like the superlatives of our whole movie catalog at this point. Not just a little bit, not just a season, not 2 seasons. All 200 movies are on the platter. So we were thinking hopefully this is a little bit more interesting with a cumulative thing, 4 years, 5 years apart. Maybe we've matured in our taste. Maybe some of our answers will be different. Some of these questions are from original videos and content, so we'll see. Price, I'm going to go ahead and let you be the guide on this one, though, so.
All right, so we're going to go category by category. First category we have is most surprising movie, both good and bad. And to tee us off, we have
Oh.
Nathan in the seat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
he's
I
at the
just look
start.
bad, so.
Oh, you did? Okay. He just
All
picked
right.
one.
I read that as good or bad for some reason.
It doesn't
I'll
matter.
pitch you two
You're-
by the time you're looking at goods, though.
Well, so I went with just generally what was the most surprising,
Mhm.
which for me was Dear Zachary.
Oh.
Mostly just because of
Yeah.
the reveal in Dear Zachary was hella surprising.
Yeah.
It's probably
mean-
the most surprising thing we've ever seen.
Are we spoiling stuff on here? I don't think people
Yeah,
care.
oh, it's 200 episodes
Well,
in.
we don't necessarily need to spoil things. Like, some things are inherently going to be spoiled, but
Yeah.
where we don't have to,
Okay.
If you want to know what the spoiler is, go check out our Dear Zachary video. The link will be below.
definitely bring
But
that
I
up.
definitely.
Yeah, Mason will get that.
130 links below.
Yes.
Nathan, I definitely can see that because like when the first drop happens, you're like, man, that's a
sucks.
lot. That's a lot. And then like the second drop comes, and you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
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 Dang.
Yeah.
That's better than mine.
It really shows you how dark the world can be.
Oh my god.
Spoiler, it is not a movie about World War II. If you thought, oh, I figured it out, 2 drops, big moment.
Oh, I was like, what? Nah, I get it.
Yeah, you
I
bet.
like it.
Well, there you go. Oh, so my,
Oh wait, don't pass yet till we're done.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, see, that's the
Yeah.
trick, right?
Okay.
So, my most surprising picks. My bad most surprising. Sorry, Nathan. It's
Thank God.
it's Mandy.
Mandy.
Mandy, man.
We should
I-
keep track
look,
of like
I
who gets
kinda
the
like
bad
that
accolades.
movie.
I'm gonna do that.
Do it.
Dude, so I think back on it, right?
Just don't ignore the first half.
Well,
Just,
no.
just wait till Mandy gets kidnapped.
Wait
No.
till
It's a good
his,
movie.
his t-shirt gets torn.
Yeah, so when he's like yelling and screaming and doing his whole thing in the bathroom, that's the peak of the movie. And that's like not great.
No, then the chainsaws come out.
No, listen.
Yeah, I mean,
you've
the
got
chainsaws are pretty good.
you've got like these like super
the,
like
the
pers-
hell bikers.
you got the
Yes.
hell bikers, you got these like super like allegedly almost supernatural like dudes that
Yeah.
he goes on a killing spree for. And here's the thing, that should be sweet. But I remember watching this movie and just being like, God, God, man, come on. Like,
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah,
it
like-
definitely could have been much better.
yes.
It landed really mid with a lot of like little moments that are just like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Clearly they can do some really cool, interesting things, but on the whole, yeah.
Right, and that's why for me that was why surprising. You said you got Nick Cage fighting a bunch of like demon spawn, acid trip, like biker crew that stole his wife, and now he's on a revenge tour. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah! And then I watched it, going in with John Wick like expectations, and I got Mandy. So yeah, color me surprised in the worst way. Whenever I was like, this is not good. And then we got Willy's Wonderland. Even Willy's Wonderland overperformed versus Mandy. So
Yeah, that was good.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
The flip of that, the good surprise on this one, definitely blew most of us underwater and could easily be your pick, if not another one, is gonna be Puss in Boots 2, right? It's number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wishing Star, The Last Wish?
Last Wish.
The Last Wish, yeah, The Last Wish. Yeah, man, this is a knockoff Shrek movie and marketing, and then you go into it, and I'm like, why did they take so much good choreography from anime? Why is death so cool? Why am I so into this big-eyed... What was
Wolf.
it? Wolf? No, it was the
Death is the
the
wolf.
dog, the puppy.
Oh, burrito.
Yeah, burrito. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got just this movie's like really annoyingly charming for what this like on the title versus what you actually got from it is a huge disparity.
I think also I'd hyped it up so much that you're like, I know his taste in movies. I know
I
it's
brought it
gonna
down
be
every time you
terrible.
hype it up. I bring it right back down. So for me, it rubber banded all the way up on the.
That's
on the
exactly
scale.
what I thought.
So for all those reasons, Puss in Boots 2 was actually quite exceptional. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's not. I will say early on because Price does this. Price had nothing to do with that. He had nothing to do with this movie.
Obviously.
He didn't make it, but he loves to claim.
I mess with you all so much on that. Like I take pride in that.
You
but
do. You're like, I'm so glad that you guys love my movie, and I'm like, Price.
I'm not saying it's mine, but
I know.
I do delight in picking good movies and people being like, that was a good movie.
Fair enough.
I like doing that.
If you're like, hey, you know what? I'm glad that we're all on the
Well,
same
we
page.
all like to do different things.
Yeah, no, boy, do we, Nathan.
You got some categories coming, Nate.
Yeah, you know what?
Don't you worry.
Your picks are coming up real hot soon.
Yes, they are.
Mason?
Steaming, some would say.
Big surprises.
So, the big surprises, as far as the bad goes, definitely Past Lives. It's the most
Aw.
recent one that I'll probably pick on here.
Recency bias.
Yeah, I just remember hearing all of these critics say that this is supposed to be one of the best movies of the year, yada yada. They've seen it multiple times, blah blah blah. And it was so so dry.
They must have
and
slept so good.
They must have. It was a good snoozy movie.
It's a snoozy
Good for
movie.
them.
Yeah, it's a snoozy one.
I mean,
It was a
gonna,
blind pick.
I'm not gonna kick on it too much. It's just it wasn't our cup of tea, or at least a couple of us.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, Nathan.
It was
the only one
terrible.
about
Was-
it.
Talk about a buffet of
This
bland.
is literally the spectrum again.
Yes.
It's like you were the most fine with it. I'm like next on concept of it, but in the execution, I'm lacking so much of it.
Yeah.
And then it's just
I detested it.
It was,
down
it
to
was
low.
rough on this end.
Yeah.
The other one, I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Some Like It Hot as good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, whoa. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad for
Okay.
sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Some Like It Hot, I think I went into
Yeah.
it very, very low, and it came out way up on top. That was delightful.
It's a good pick. It's
It
charming.
was solid.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna land on The Little
So
Prince.
progressive.
Yeah, it is. I know.
That's gonna be the only mention for that one.
Yeah.
The Little Prince was after a 3rd star pick, and I think that's why I was like, we gotta let her stop doing
Everybody's got to
She-
have their lawnmower, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't keep getting away with this.
Yes,
we said to
exactly.
ourselves.
But it was very nice.
That's
It
charming.
was very fun. The animation style was cool, and yeah, it was a very simple movie, but that's gonna be mine.
As for me, my most surprising movie that was bad is definitely Enemy. I thought that you
There's America
couldn't go
for me.
wrong with like being centralized on Jake Gyllenhaal and just making it all about him. But then you got 2 of them in a super boring and up its own butt movie, which is just 2 things that I really cannot stand. And this movie was that in spades. I really, really detested that movie, and I was high on it. Like going into it, it's like the trailer looked cool, and all the concepts seemed cool, but
We
man,
love Jake Gyllenhaal.
it did not execute. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but man, that movie was a turbo load of garbage. Not the worst, definitely, but as
a
far
surprise
as far as
thing,
like I thought it would be like a 7, and it was like a 1 or something. Like I hated it, or maybe I gave it like a 0.5 or something.
That's about your average score this season.
Yeah. No, there's been some good ones.
Some.
lately. The like last season or the last one, the Raging Bull season or whatever.
Oh.
That was the one that was just like, I want out of this. But anyway,
we landed on like cranberry tart by the end of that season.
Yeah.
That was
but
rough.
anyway, for most surprising movie I thought was good was actually Dune. So I'm giving Nathan a good accolade on this
Hey.
How would you not think Dune would be good?
one. I thought it would.
It's not a
I,
style
going
movie.
going in, I thought it would just be super dry. Like I
Well,
looked
it
at
was.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
this is crazy to me because like that movie is a setup movie. It's not even that it
Yeah.
was solid. It was just like.
But I went in with such low expectations because I
Okay.
thought it was just going to be like a boring setup movie where like it was just nothing. Like honestly, I look at Lord of the Rings 1 as that the kind of template for like a
Same
super
mentality.
boring movie.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality I went in with it, which is really low, and then wound up being really good. So yeah, most surprising movie for me.
All right, you
Next-
get the next
Give
category.
me the star now. I get to go.
And personally, one of my favorite categories that we got coming up next is favorite song. So, and also, I'd like to go ahead and point out that if you're going to have honorable mentions, just do it quick.
Okay.
So, because there's plenty you can mention, but
Honorable mentions.
Quickly.
Nazis, 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 Green
Yeah.
Line.
It's the Nazi punks fuck off.
Yeah.
Nazi punks, Nazi punks.
I actually really liked our cover of that more.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
This will be a short and sweet one, actually, because this one is a historical recorrected answer. I forget what I said on my first time through, but I got pointed out in the old review. They were like, "Are you sure it's not this?" Which was Promise Reprise by Silent Hill.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a piano riff.
It's a little piano one with
Yeah.
it, and that song is wildly high on my Spotify most listened to songs. I enjoy that song just so much. And I didn't originally pick it on my first. I think it ended up being Sweet Child of Mine.
I was
from
gonna
the-
say that was my original.
Yeah. I think I ended up ripping
I,
it.
I think
Yeah.
that guy like everybody but Price.
Yeah, everybody but Price was on board
it's
with that.
fine.
It's the best version.
But you
of the
all
song.
gas it up.
Well, but to be fair, that was on the very, very first season when there
Yeah.
was about maybe 40 movies.
Yeah.
That's true.
So-
That's true. 200 movies later, Promise Reprise is playing the test of time. That little piano tune just lives in my heart, rent free.
A lot of these I've forgotten because that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Running with the Wolves.
Ooh,
Wolf
okay.
Walkers.
Wolf Walker. Gotta get that wolf.
Yep. I just remember it being like a music video.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
actually got to hear the whole song, and even and it was good.
Oh yeah, it does play the entire
It does.
song, yeah.
And it's a good song. Luckily, it is a good song.
Right.
But you're still kind of like, wait a minute.
How long is this
Like
song
3.5
go?
minutes long.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be my pick.
Oh, okay.
Runner-ups for me, I had Enemy from Arcane. Before it got memed to death, I really like that song.
It's still a pretty okay song.
It still is. It's gotten memed to death, so unfortunately, it has fallen down.
Yeah.
Not even of its own fault. Second definitely would have been New Perspective from Jennifer's Body.
You just watched that today, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
On the way here.
But then I remember, I was like, oh, like that is like one of my favorites. But the number one that still hasn't changed since season 1 is definitely a Sparkle from Your Name.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a good one.
it was our walkout song. Kelly picked it for our wedding. So
Yeah.
that's like what everybody walked out to was that song. So unfortunately, it's got a little nostalgia on that front for me. But even before that, I mean, I talked about it forever whenever we did our first questions one. It's just, I think it's just perfect. Like, it's such a good like lead up song to what happens in the movie. And even when you listen to it on its own, it's just a really great song that you can just put on in the background. So that's fine.
I owe Mason $5. I thought you were going to say I can't stop.
So I picked Dragula.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Who was
The
that?
Matrix gets
The
it.
Matrix had it.
Who picked that?
That was
Me.
me. No, that was Nathan. That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah. I mean, I mostly just picked it because it's like that's the
Yeah.
kind of like the beginning introductions for me into that genre of music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, it's like an important that. So like you could say it could have been put on the soundtrack, but I kept the soundtrack question that we did for score specifically.
Yeah.
If it were the soundtrack to The Matrix is what got me into that genre of music in general.
When does Dragula play in The Matrix?
It's in the club.
Yeah, there's a
Yep.
club scene where he's following the White Rabbit, so it's like before he's actually left the Matrix.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning you. I really just don't remember.
Oh no,
because
I recently rewatched it, so I was like,
did
it's in the
not.
club. They're in there. Dragula's blasting. I'm like, where's that club? I want to go to that club.
In that time frame.
Yes.
All right, we got another favorites coming up,
Sure.
and it is your favorite scene of 200 movies.
You know,
Count them. 200.
200, count them.
200.
I'm not gonna lie. This was the one category where I was like, I need to go back and watch this specific scene. I already knew it. I was going to recite it for you all. Dylan, I think you know it more so than me. It's the Remember Me scene around the conference table when Robert Pattinson is going absolutely ballistic on his dad.
Yeah.
Basically telling him that he was the reason why his brother hanged himself, and
Yeah.
that if it's on his watch, he'll have 2 more kids hanging on his watch.
Pierce Brosnan looks at the table as they're awkward. Trying to. He says, "Sit the fuck down."
Yeah.
And then
He's
they
like,
all-
we'll leave. And he's like,
"Sit the fuck down." Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's a good pick.
mm.
I kind of want to.
It is so good.
definitely.
It makes me want to change my answer to another Remember Me scene.
I know what that is.
You don't understand. When I picked it, I was like, I need to watch that scene again.
Yeah.
I need to go into it knowing exactly what it is.
Oh, that's a gas pick. Good job, Mason.
Mm.
Gold star.
I do think that
Star.
there's a bet
No.
on the table for myself as which if this other pick is going to get picked
Okay.
for this one, and
Okay.
I have a pretty good idea.
All right.
I don't say it obviously.
My very, very close runner-up was the whole intro to Inglourious Bastards. I wish I could have picked that one.
God, that is a whole movie.
Yeah, it's
It
very
is.
long.
That's as close as it comes to
12
cheating as it can
long.
be. Yeah.
But my number one is easily the panic attack scene from Puss in Boots 2.
Mm.
I mean, I still remember exactly where I was in the theater when I watched that for the first time.
Were you
It's
sitting
just-
in the same chair that you had been
just-
sitting in the entire time?
No, I'll take you to that IMAX theater and be like, that's where my butt was.
Oh.
That's where those cheeks were. It was right
Yeah,
there.
those
Yeah.
cheeks be clapped.
Because I was already like so being surprised by that movie the entire time, and then that scene happened, and I was like, okay, this is something else. Like this is doing something that just is punching so far above its pay grade, where you have the chance for Perito to be just the annoying sidekick character, but once again, it just subverts that and it just like gives a really quiet moment in a very loud scene, and it just really calms down really quick and brings you back. And it's not something I would expect from something in the Shrek verse.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Is that the panic scene? Is that when
The
he got
panic
like?
attack when he's in the forest.
That's where-
He's sitting
Well,
down.
let's not necessarily spoil anything, but
It's
it's where the dog comforts.
Oh,
He's the
that's
emotional
right. He's
support
sitting at
animal.
the trunk of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puss.
And then he said he wanted to be a therapy dog earlier, and then
Right.
Puss just starts like
Yeah.
petting
Yeah,
him,
okay, I gotcha.
and
That's
then he
cool.
comes back.
That's a good
Yeah.
scene. That's a good scene. Nathan.
I'm I'm going with Snatch. And the moment where everything kind of runs.
Oh, that's so good. Where it all literally comes together.
All these stories that have been weaving all over the place literally collide into each other. A group of guys in a car hit another guy that you've been seeing with this other story going on the whole time. It's just chaos breaks out as everything that this movie's been building towards finally crescendos.
Yep.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
For how much we talk about that, I'm really surprised I've never heard about that movie prior to the podcast. I've never heard about it since.
I only knew about it because a college girlfriend showed it to me too.
Yeah, I remember watching it before we
did
this, but I don't. For some reason, it didn't really stick out.
Yeah, it didn't feel like something that would have paid attention, but because I had to sit down and watch it, I was like, oh, this movie's actually great.
Yeah.
So, favorite scene, honorable mention, the real ending, more or less, of Remember Me, after you mentioned Remember Me.
You just threw that on there.
I did, because I got reminded of it, and I'm like, that's a gas scene. Yeah. To be fair, that is a scene to fucking pick. Yeah. The one that may or may not have had to pick short notice on, but I'm not upset about at all, is one of my favorite all-time comedy bits, and this may play later. It is the Chosen One getting beat with sticks over on Kung Pao.
That is not what we were expecting.
I was so left field because, alright, maybe...
No, that's a good pick, but I approve.
I kept trying to think of things to pick out of that movie, and I never quite could decide on one.
That one, I went through the list really quickly to make sure I hadn't picked Kung Pao and something, and I was like, oh, there's something from Kung Pao, 100%. And I'm like, it's just a... Well, he said whenever he was done that he would throw us off his body dramatically. And then they all just pile onto him. Okay! Throw us off! He's just been beaten to death.
And it's on a looping scene, too. They just keep, playing the exact same...
And he keeps going, he keeps getting more aggressive with the stick beatings of him. It goes back to my, one of my favorite... But you guys know this about me. One of my favorite comedy tropes is... People dying. No, people dying for an extended period of time. So it's either that or this is more or less a version of that. This is him just.
Then why did you not pick the better version, which is Snatch?
Stay tuned.
Stop shooting the shit down.
Listen, there may be other
with the Desert Eagle or whatever it was.
There may be other places that scene. No spoilers.
There's somewhere else that could fit in.
There's other places. That scene.
Memorable death.
I definitely thought you were gonna pick Warrior. You lose this fight, you lose your house.
I thought you would too. We should have done most hype moment.
I already had Warrior maybe once or twice out there, so that would have been too much with it. But that's my scene. Stay tuned for Boris the Blade.
He's coming
back. Too soon.
He's coming up.
All right.
Or Boris the Blade.
Next category that has one correct answer. It is best gore.
Oh.
Okay.
And
it starts with
first.
you. Yeah.
Well, I will go ahead and say the correct answer, and that is the movie that made Nathan almost puke. We've been talking about it ever since season 1, and that movie is Raw. Especially for me, the thing that gets me about gore isn't just The Descent, where it's just blood everywhere.
The fructose corn syrup.
That doesn't get me. It's the more tactile kind of feeling of gore, where it's
you can feel
crunching, you can feel it, that kind of gore where it's visceral and you feel it. And man, when she eats her finger or something at one point,
her sister's finger. Yeah.
Yes, that was no, it's definitely Raw for me. And when she waxes herself at that one point.
Well, that's not too many spoilers. We got girls who've got to watch this movie here soon, so.
Yeah, it's gore, and unless I can't imagine something coming close, but you all may surprise me.
Nathan, are you gonna surprise him?
No, I'm not. No, because my pick is Kill Bill and the Crazy 48.
The Crazy 88 scene?
Yeah, the 88.
Crazy 88.
Is that the samurai scene?
Yeah, it's the one where all the body
where all
parts
the limbs are being sliced off.
And half of it's behind a silhouette and stuff. And
right.
Changing into,
but then at the end you've just got
pan over.
Everybody
in the snow.
Just strewn across the ground.
Right.
Y'all can leave, but the limbs are mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Kill Bill?
Yeah. Sick.
Nice.
I don't like that answer. I'm gonna be the contrarian here and say that it's actually Raw. Yeah.
Not mentioned.
Raw is a movie that I said is the execution of something too good.
They understood the assignment too well.
I, within good reason, cannot say it is a bad movie. I'm just saying it is a difficult movie to watch of how good it is doing its job. And I can't say it's bad for that reason at all, but boy, howdy, gore that leaves an impression. I've watched a lot of movies, guys, and
over 200.
over 200 minimum, and I promise you, that one's a doozy. I can't wait to see the live reaction for all the girls watching it. Coming up soon. Don't worry, that video has not been forgotten.
Theater near you.
It's just on delay.
It's been forgotten.
I have a couple honorable mentions on this one. I don't think that gore is the same as what Price it is, or it is for Price.
Yeah.
I think that if it's done pretty well, neatly, and like paced out is nice. Therefore, you have Silent Hill, which is a pretty good example of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great example of good.
The Thing also, like for like body horror.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
And,
another one, Frontiers.
I had it on here as an honorable
As an honorable mention?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that movie.
The problem with that one though is it's not so much pace. It's just like big one,
Everything about
nothing.
it. Yeah.
Big one,
Nothing.
nothing, and
Right.
then you have the
And then
final
they shoot the
shootout
bar.
at the end. Yeah.
And then when
everything-
she's
Other than that, Repo is also a good example, but I'm
Yeah.
going to land on Silent Hill because I think of like the razor wire at the end where
Yeah.
like she's like being
Oh,
lifted.
yeah.
Through the dress?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That,
But,
that's a top 5 gnarly deaths for me.
No,
Oh, yeah.
but the whole movie is like that.
Yeah.
It's solid throughout as far as sort of
Ripping the skin off the girl and throwing it at the church.
well, there's also like
It's just so dumb.
fire involved and like
Hey,
yeah.
that's- I think that's an exceptionally good movie.
I do too.
You're
I
crazy.
agree.
That's so goofy.
No, it's so dope.
Yeah.
This here's the line right here. Dope.
Look,
Plum,
you just
silly.
don't appreciate Pyramid Head like
Yeah.
the rest of us.
Right.
Definitely do not.
It's the only thing from Silent Hill I've ever associated with. So
Yeah, that's fair.
To start us off on the next one is the biggest lover among us, and that is
Among
Nathan giving us the best love story.
Oh, boy, do I got one. None of y'all would pick.
Oh no! Don't say Zardo, Sea Animal. Can you imagine?
No, I kind of went with just something a little goofy.
That's fine.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Jessica Rabbit is faithful to her man,
yeah.
and he trusts her.
Through
Yeah.
thick
He
and
knows.
thin.
He knows she would not cheat on him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was right.
This man.
That's an example of a really exceptional relationship built on trust.
Isn't that the patty cake?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
They're playing
there's-
patty cake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
They,
You know,
all, they
that's
all told
something.
him he was wrong, but he knew. He knew deep down.
Yeah, I won't lie, that wasn't my honorable mention. I was gonna also pick Roger Rabbit for that. I'm so glad you picked that. This is gonna be a repeat answer for me. So, once upon a time, I said Inception was my favorite love story on this one because it has this dark, tragic tone of
Ellen Page.
Leo's car. No, God,
Don't.
that's in the video. It's in the video. So yeah, him mourning Maud the entire movie, and then going through the grief process and having that big culmination, like grief love thing throughout the end. Like there's a through line of a love story through Inception. If you're paying attention and you're looking and seeing, and it's like, oh, that's like beautiful in this kind of like sad but wonderful kind of like celebrative way. And I'm like, no, I love that. And it's an orthodox. It's not just the simple romance that you would see like in a rom-com or something like that. I like an unorthodox storytelling, but it feels real. So Inception.
It's also it's a good reveal.
Well, she's
too.
toxic in the subconscious, but
Yeah.
Like 2/3 of the way
That's
through
not
the
her.
movie, it shows her like actually jumping off, or like
Yeah.
the idea and the assumption that
how
she
it all
jumped off,
happened.
Yeah,
Right.
We can skip over Mason. He's going to pick Penguin Highway.
I love them penguins.
Penguin.
No, I meant with the kid and the teacher.
Oh god,
That's a wholesome love. Hey, listen, love story does not necessarily imply romantic.
there was a strange relationship. There, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I forgot about
A
that.
lot of it had to do with Booba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he only wanted boobs.
Yeah.
No,
Respect.
mine is definitely gonna be Moonrise Kingdom. There is nothing that tops that, in my opinion. Those two,
That's a good one.
they're like 13 or something. I don't even know,
Yeah.
and they're trying to get out of this camp, or trying to get out of both of their situations. But
Yeah.
it's by far that's that.
That was a solid pick.
I am going to go with one that this will probably be the only time it gets mentioned on this, and that is Ride Your Wave.
No.
Um,
Of course, yeah.
I just
Kiwi,
joking earlier.
I'm just like conflating best with memorable because a lot of like Moonrise Kingdom, I think that is a good one, but I don't really remember it. I've seen a lot of good love stories, but I think Ride Your Wave has a very original and different kind of love story. Taking out the stupid mythological stuff of it, just the fact of like them getting together, the plot twist happens, and then the ramifications from that, and then really seeing the ramifications of that plot twist at the end of the movie. And one of my favorite scenes from all of the, where she's at dinner or whatever, and the Christmas scene happen or the New Year's scene. Happens, and like that just really got me. So I'm still going to go with Ride Your Wave.
Surf's up.
But next, Dylan, we'd have a lot of best. That's like 5 categories of just best.
Yes.
This is best antagonist.
Oh, God. I had to think really hard on this one.
Oh, this was an easy one.
There's a lot of great options.
There were some.
Yeah.
Recency bias.
There were some easy ones, but the more I thought about it, the more that I realized it's not villain, it's antagonist, which made me really think harder on it. And
You're
it's
gonna go
Tommy.
with protagonist, aren't you?
No, I'm going Tommy from Warrior. By the end of the movie, it is very much like set, and
his father could have been a better antagonist.
Both of them, honestly. I'll mention to his dad on this one.
I don't see him, Tommy, as an antagonist.
No. So hear me out.
I don't at all.
And
the best antagonists are the ones you have to explain.
Yes, correct, right? So, relatively speaking, the movie starts with it being more or less like it's framed like 2 protagonists, but by the time you see the movie's conflict or whatever, you see that Tommy's just driven by his own selfishness and frustrations with it, and then you've got somebody who's fighting for himself, his family, all of this other things going on. Like, Tommy's fight is to prove what? Nothing.
Yeah,
to tear down.
That he's the best.
Just to prove himself.
To prove himself,
Yeah.
right.
But he's not acting in force against something.
No, until the very end, and then when you realize that he's up through his brother, and this is like the difference of like somebody's family and livelihood, and at that point he switches to the antagonist. Like there's
only because he's put against a angelic protagonist.
Yeah, but these are both.
That's the only reason. He's like neutral.
Yeah.
If anything.
But okay, this goes into an argument that says that being a protagonist can shift you into an antagonist over the plot of what the story is focused. The focus becomes Joel and that brother's whole thing. Tommy's explored, but there's a strong objective argument, and this was something I thought about for a long time. I was like, Tommy really kind of just becomes the antagonist by the time it's all said and done. He is the big brick wall that is through, technically, our main character's story the entire time.
I think it is made to, like, be like that, though, because you do have him hugging at the end after he's broken his arm and all that.
Right.
I mean, I guess it kind of comes into it. But,
right.
I mean, I don't know.
They literally have a fight at the end.
I look at it as the antagonist is in direct opposition to the protagonist, whoever that is. And I don't look at Tommy as being directly opposed to his brother. I think he's tacitly against him because to accomplish his goal, he has to go through his brother who wants the better goal.
He's not upset about going through his brother, though, on this whole thing with it.
Yeah, but he's like wanting to achieve his goal, and he's like objectively like, when they get out of the ring, he's not going to beat the shit out of his brother or something.
He also,
depends on the day.
It's also like the country is like behind him in that point too. So
right.
He has his own absolute motivation.
He has. Listen, there's an absolute argument to say that Tommy could may or not be one. I would go out of my way to say that I think that Tommy serves as a role as a protagonist for the first half of the movie, and then he becomes an antagonist for the second half of the movie.
Does the country turn against Tommy at the end? I honestly don't remember. I thought they were formed because he's an army
The Marines
guy.
were all shooting him on, but then he
then they found out that he had basically went like
defected.
He left.
Yeah. I couldn't
and
remember.
then, but then I think he also spins it because the Hispanic lady is like, no, you guys got it all wrong. Like he saved my husband from blah 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 or something.
And then he did defect after that, but that's not the point. Like,
anyways, that's the thing.
Anyway, I'm picking Tommy. Tommy needs a shout out on this one. I don't think he's gonna get any love. That Warrior movie wasn't very respected at our time, so.
I think I'm also going to pick a movie that will not get mentioned again, and that is the antagonist from The Postman. Quentin.
I was certain somebody was gonna pick that.
I love that man.
I was certain that was gonna.
He was the best part.
He is pretty good, but I think you might be forgetting how great the Waterworld protagonist was.
It's not your turn yet.
I don't remember Waterworld as well. I know we bring it up from time to time.
The antagonist from Waterworld is more of a comedian.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Than the antagonist.
I don't remember him.
But I put them in
I
a
don't
similar vein to one another.
But yeah, I think Quentin. His name is like Jedediah or something wild or
right.
Joseph something. Anyways,
And he's educated, does art.
he's a solid, like, very educated dude in the movie, and I think
And
that
he used to sell printers.
Yep.
yeah, he used to sell. He was a salesman.
You can't remember faces to save his life, though.
No, he
we saw
cannot.
that main character go by him 4 times.
After
And
seeing
you were
like
so mad.
after seeing maybe 50 people a day, like, you know, yeah, your vision goes a little crazy on.
Bro, I'm just
on,
saying.
you
I'm
know.
gonna remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a plot hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely The Postman, and I think that was the best part of that 3-hour-long movie.
You gave that movie
I mean,
way
I
too
love
high a
that
score.
movie. I thought it was good.
Mason's over here, USA.
Yeah,
USA, the
Postal
entire time.
Service.
Tears down his
Yeah.
eyes as that kid gets that mail tape.
I just hear the screeching eagle, like, from, yeah.
How many times did you pledge allegiance to this movie,
He
man?
got up in his
Yeah.
house.
My legs
Attention.
are sore.
That's
I
trouble.
love the Postal Service. I have a lot of honorable mentions for this one. First will be Lord Shin from Kung Fu Panda 2. Really enjoyed
the
him.
rooster or the goose or whatever
It's
it
the
was.
crane.
The crane.
No, he's a peacock.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
is that what it is?
Crane is one of the Kung Fu people.
Oh, yeah.
Voiced by David Cross. But second, I had Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems, sorry.
David Garnett or whoever it was.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin
could have been
Garnett,
a better
He's not an
The
antagonist.
Weekend would have been a better.
My very close second who I wanted to pick for it was Death from Puss in Boots 2. I think he's very interesting, but to me there's a very clear number one, and it's Lieutenant Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards. He's just this sneaky, conniving, just in absolutely everything, and when he's on screen, it's always just a force of chaos. And as soon as you see his face on the screen without even saying anything, you know, like, all right, something's going down. Don't know what's going to happen. I mean, from his introduction in the introductory scene to every scene after, he's just a force every time he comes on the screen. Especially if you remember when the Jewish lady is at the dinner with all the round table of all the high ups for the theater or whatever, and then it shows Hans Landa, and it has like that scary music and whatever. It shows his face. It's like so affecting and so good. And then he asks for the cream and everything, of course, because he doesn't remember. Well, another case of the villain forgetting the main character.
I'll forgive him on this one because he only really kind of sees the back of her.
And it was like years ago,
Yeah.
he's been in that scene a lot of times. You can tell.
Right.
Yeah, that was very much more about him knowing, or her knowing him.
Yeah.
Like you didn't expect him to remember her.
Yeah. But what if he did? That's the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with John Goodman from 10 Cloverfield.
Hey,
that's
that's
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
Yeah, I like it.
I think
like
as an
it.
antagonist, like it's such a good balance of a character to just be ominously sinister.
Mm.
without
And
actually
slow
being
burn.
And he's just
Yeah.
so imposing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he's so big in this small.
The
setting
cinematography
whole
does
time.
such a good job making him feel
Huge.
impossibly strong.
And also nuts, right?
Yes.
Like,
Oh
Yeah.
like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you folded your napkin wrong at dinner, I feel like he was like, hey,
Yeah.
quit.
Hey, yeah. Didn't you see?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, John Goodman's a good pick. Anyway, Blue Star goes to Mason.
I think that's an actor we didn't like pick much of, and he's been in like everything.
I watched the movie last night. Matchstick Man.
Monsters Inc. He's in that one.
Yeah,
Is he Mike?
true.
He's Sully.
He's
Sully,
Sully, that's
man.
right.
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski. You think that's John
Who
Goodman?
is that anyway?
I see his face. Billy Crystal.
No, it is Billy Crystal.
Yep. It is Billy Crystal. Next one is
Most forgettable.
most forgettable movie.
Hmm.
What movie have you forgotten the most?
You know, I think what I did here was I picked one from each and all of you all on a lot of these, just to give everyone fair game.
Okay.
I like that.
So
you picked everybody?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll pick one overall. But who did Monty Python?
Oh, that was.
That was Dylan.
No, it was not.
Was it not Price?
It was definitely Dylan.
It was
Okay.
definitely Price.
Dang it, he's right.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't.
I
No,
didn't
you're
pick
right.
it. I
You're right.
dislike
You're right.
that
You're right.
movie.
No, because that makes sense because this is the order. So
Mm-hmm.
Monty Python might be it for me. Another one would be Honey Boy, which was this guy,
That was
Shia
bad.
LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Tell me what that movie was about. Anybody?
Child abuse.
It was
No.
about
An
the
abusive actor.
Wasn't it the actual life of
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf?
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be like a
Autobiographical
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
where he's sitting here playing his
His
dad.
dad.
Yeah.
His dad said his penis is so small he gets pee on his balls. You know, that's
I remember that.
yeah.
No, well, that makes one of us.
Well, that.
He's growing weed on the side of the highway.
Right.
Has the girl friend that's like driving around. I think,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. See,
Um,
not so forgettable now,
nah,
is it?
for me it is. And then Space Sweepers is Nathan.
That's,
Yeah.
that's a good.
That's a
That's
good.
yeah.
I think though I know that one because it had like a girl that was important, like a little like
Yeah, like a little
Yeah.
kid.
yeah, that
It,
was
and
like
it
the
also
key to
had
everything.
like the villain was a big CEO.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
remember that.
It had a MacGuffin, the girl.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
that's-
remember there was terrible poop jokes.
Yeah.
Well, it had all of the translations too. Like it was weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Monty Python. I couldn't tell you.
That movie is nothing if not forgettable.
I know
Nah,
two scenes
You are
from that.
It's the Black
crazy.
Knight.
I know the coconut scene, and
The
that's about it.
coconuts,
I
yeah.
constantly have to ask Bryce, what about that French dude at the gate? And he
Oh,
has to
come back
recite
here and
the
I'll
entire thing.
Told
to
you
me.
a second time.
Yes, and I never remember.
Well, I didn't remember that either, actually.
Any of that.
That's a good pick.
So yeah, so I'm gonna go with Monty Python.
Your father was a hamster and your mother smelled of elderberries. Oh, I love that movie. I am going to say the same forgettable movie that I've said since season 1, and that is Crimson Peak. I don't
almost picked
remember
that one.
Oh,
anything
yes,
from that movie. I remember there was like red sand.
Didn't he just
No, it was
say
the
that
clay.
It was like
Clay.
oozing
He just said that he
clay.
didn't remember Flipped.
Yeah, I know.
He keeps,
But he keeps remembering to
he keeps
forget.
remembering to forget Flipped, but somehow it's Crimson Peak.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
it's still definitely Crimson Peak. I remember Tom Hiddleston's in it,
Yeah.
and I know there was red sand, and apparently it's clay.
It was Clay.
I don't remember
And
anything
Tom Hiddleston's
about
not even
the
in it.
rest of
Yeah.
it. Flipped it, if Flipped
How
it just
funny
falls
would
into
that
that
have been?
Flipped just falls into that category of just another forgettable teen romance that Mason picked.
So that sounds like
You're
a good
right.
category for
I'll
the movie. But
Yeah.
So what I picked was a movie that I quite literally forgot that we had actually reviewed until I was going through the list, and I was like,
Constantine.
Oh, weird.
No.
No,
He
so
picked that.
great.
It's actually The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, come on!
yeah.
I don't remember us having done that at all.
This is handcrafted mahogany.
Yeah.
I'm so upset. That's such a good movie.
I'll tell you.
It's like an hour 20.
Yeah,
The thing
that's
is, I was
bangers.
genuinely surprised when I saw it on the list.
You're
He's
like,
like,
did
let
we?
me guess. Waterfall? Thousands of feet down?
Yeah.
Rocks at the bottom?
How did they get here before us?
What's
Logically,
that?
it doesn't make any sense.
That one went into my zeitgeist.
It's
'cause I
funny
played
that
so
all
much
of
more
us
Pong,
remember these
so
lines from
characters.
other ones.
Yeah.
Like Honey
Yeah.
Boy, everyone was like, oh, yes, this is, and then this is.
But the
Emperor's
one-
New
but you-
They
Groove.
piss on my
Yeah.
balls. Yeah.
What was? Oh, all right. So here's objectively the real answer, because we got a movie so painstakingly similar to this movie very soon after watching this one that we will have forgotten that we'd watched it, and that's The Novice. And we watched that all together in person.
No,
That's a
you
good
could tell
So-
me the whole plot of that movie.
Girl canoes
Well, it's
too
'cause
much.
It's very simple.
It seems
she
like
rose.
Yeah, okay, the plot as a description is a simple description, but I cannot tell you, like, all I can remember is her being bruised and hurting herself from doing the thing too much.
Yeah, self-inflicted.
And to be fair, that's like a third of the movie
There,
at least.
there are
but-
two schools of thought on this topic. This half is like they don't remember the movie, and
Yeah.
this half is like we watched that movie.
Yeah.
I remember the movie.
Yes.
but I don't remember watching it.
No, The Novice, and we watched Whiplash so soon afterwards, and it was the, like,
And blew it out of the
and it was
water.
the same exact movie in theory and in concept, but in execution, I was like, all right, well, Whiplash does this really well, while the Whiplash is like, or the Whiplash, The Novice. See, I can't even remember the name of this movie. The Novice was just kind of like, did the girl even get topless in that movie? I don't remember, and I always remember that. So says a lot. That movie was very forgettable.
That I like a lot of these answers.
Yeah.
I like how like different they are because I remember all three of
Monty
those. movies,
Python.
but I don't remember that one
That's
at all.
absurd.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know.
only 2 scenes in that movie. You're right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And we have so many other categories, but we still left on favorite world.
Ooh.
Water world. I mean, it's fun. They're on water. It's different.
See, that,
it's interesting.
That was what I was.
There's
wondering. I was
jet
like,
skis.
Could
There's
you
a lot of cool
survive on
stuff.
some of these worlds?
I don't care about that.
Exactly.
It's
so you're just
cool.
picking
It's
the better,
favorite. Yeah.
the better aesthetic.
I mean,
and stuff.
Nathan should be sweeping this category.
He should. These movies. If Nathan's got one skill to his movies, it's that they put you in cool worlds with bad movies.
Yeah.
Like,
And Waterworld fits that to a T.
yeah.
Because I don't remember anything about that movie except like,
Waterworld
that's
wasn't
cool.
that
Waterworld's
bad,
pretty-
man.
Waterworld's a bad movie. Nathan.
No, Waterworld's
It's a pretty good
It's
movie.
pretty good.
No, it's not.
pretty good.
I liked it just because he had like this sailboat kind of pontoon
Yeah.
weird thing. It was like a
You know, I've
competition
seen that in
racing
person.
boat. Did you?
Like the actual one.
I believe
Yeah.
that.
What's
Oh.
one character from that movie? One character's name.
Deb from Napoleon Dynamite.
Boom.
Anybody?
It's her.
Bad movie.
Well, we're talking
Nathan,
about names. I can tell you like
Nathan,
who
can-
characters were.
Continue.
I'm gonna go with Blade Runner. I mean,
Oh, first one.
Second one or
some, like,
first one?
Oof.
It
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
so to be fair, the first one is actually a better point in the history of Blade Runner because the second one is post the blackout.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna
So
say second one's
you want to
some
live
harsh
before the
times.
I
blackout.
want to live in Blade Runner 1.
You want to be chilling
But
Harrison
in
Ford.
theory, if you're living in Blade Runner, you might find yourself able to live long enough that you end up having to live through the blackout anyway.
Yeah. It's
So
not-
maybe you should be born after the blackout
Yeah.
because at least then you don't have to deal with that turmoil.
Right.
So maybe we go with 2.
I'm definitely picking 2 because I can get virtual Ana de Armas.
It's true. That's the winner.
Easily my pick.
and all the
That's-
colorful.
I don't really
lights.
care what's going on outside. She's just chilling on the wall. I'm like, this is awesome.
God, I love that movie.
She just hires a prostitute. to
Yeah,
be a
what
body
a
double.
what a champ. Not afraid to share. Imposes herself over, and for the record, she bought a banger hooker already. So it's like, all right, Anna, can you take off for like 5 minutes?
Give me some time.
Yeah. That's a good pick. I looked at that one. My previous answer to this, for the record, I went back and looked. It was
Mad Max.
Excalibur. Was
Yeah,
my original
it
answer
was.
to this.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I stick to that because for me it's like, all right, if I'm gonna be in that world, if I'm gonna be living in it, like can't be Waterworld, I can't swim. So
Fair.
sick, but it's gonna kill me. And I was like, Excalibur seems really sick as a world to live in. You know, Arthurian times, you got magic going on, a lot of magic going on.
But odds are that you're a peasant.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But maybe he can learn magic, you know,
No,
like,
I think that's
slowly.
definitely
I'm
a good
middle
point
class
to be like,
nowadays. Odds are I'm
it's-
like a low tier, like I'm
Low
a
middle?
serf or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
You're going for a medieval fantasy with magic.
Yes.
I think that's a really strong qualifier for a world.
Yeah, that's a sick one.
Yeah, because hell, you could learn magic.
Yeah.
You
Now-
gotta just find your way to the right people.
But you may not have the aptitude for it or the mana or
The
something
only thing that
dumb
upended
like
that on reflection, on reflection on this was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You get a lot of modern day world, but cartoon shit all over the place.
That would drive me fucking nuts.
I know it would drive
oh,
you
God,
nuts.
I would hate that.
You know
I
what?
would hate that shit.
Steer into the
Tasmanian
insanity.
Devil would literally just come out of a portal and
Yeah.
like just wreck your shit and then
Bro,
just leave.
every now and
You'd
again-
be so mad.
But-
yeah, that
but-
seems like a terrible.
But you would get.
Yes.
Listen, we're thinking about that from like, all right, it's modern day standards, but you're gonna be so used to sitting there and you're gonna be at home. You're like, my first home, and then fucking Bugs Bunny explodes it. That there's gonna be tune insurance that's already covering it, and you're just like, fucking bugs. And then you go, well, sorry about my
that
dad.
has like one of your priceless
And then you
family
got characters
heirlooms.
like Jessica Rabbit.
Then you got and then you can, and listen, in the day and age where cartoons can
yeah,
be real
I mean,
life,
just
that
think
includes
about
anime.
it. That's anime.
Anime, baby.
The whole world, like half of it is not interesting because it's just humans.
Yeah.
It's just the other half that's
And
cartoons.
sweaty. Remember, like they were like oily, sweaty humans
Yeah,
too.
but listen, but we're also back in like the
Yeah,
detective
you're
era,
back
the war
in-
days.
Yeah, you're back in like what?
Yeah,
pre-highways.
Is it like 80s?
Yeah,
Is that what it's
so-
supposed
So
to
like
be
you
set in?
contract
No,
an
something
STD like AIDS and you just die because modern medicine doesn't exist.
No.
It's a
No.
terrible place. I want to
It's
be on the
probably
water.
A cartoon would be able to
Probably
heal
not
me.
the 60s.
Well, just wait
Yeah.
till my
It's
answer. You're really.
closer to, maybe 30s, 40s, because it's talking noir, but the period of it actually in the
Mason!
movie should be around 60s, 70s.
Basic.
I'm gonna go with Annihilation.
Yeah!
I think, and I also like the blend of worlds, right? So you have the regular
I think that was
world.
him.
It was him.
That was my
You have like this regular universe. It's fine, but you have this like goop, this like weird force field.
Shimmer.
Yes, the shimmer that's
Yeah.
like slowly over time taking over more and more. I think
So are
it's
you
cool.
saying eventually you want to like have to just physically merge with the
Yeah.
things around you?
Yeah.
I like
Become
it.
one with them.
You
Because
become
I
nature.
Feel your organs
wants to be a
moving
plant.
inside of you.
I do. So I watched our last time that we did this,
Here we
and we
go.
did memorable deaths. I will not pick the same one this time, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. One of the scenes from Annihilation with Tessa.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, and she
in the-
literally just wanders out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I
It
thought
just
that
becomes
is
a plant.
yeah, it's the
Right.
coolest thing. And most everything in that movie, not to spoil it, they kind of die the way that they live their life or something. It's supposed to be kind of sort of related.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
a thematic
thinking.
karma to their
I'm probably gonna die by like slushies or something. So
Yeah.
in that world, it's fine.
You turn into a gas station.
I do.
Back to land.
Yeah, it's an all-time hell.
Yeah. But you turn into a Buc-ee's though.
Yeah, it's a big gas
Ooh,
station.
Yeah.
May 2024.
Is that our official name?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
We're gonna skip the next one.
Okay.
We're gonna go back to that later because
Okay.
kind of like a compliment sandwich, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So we're gonna go to favorite score / soundtrack. So this was interpreted different ways. You could pick both or just one,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. As you know, this podcast we pick whatever. So
Yeah,
however you want to interpret it, let it fly.
4 men read one sentence 4 different ways.
Let
so
your freak flag
that's
fly.
on brand for us.
Oh, I will.
So I'm gonna pick a movie that's probably only gonna be picked this one time, and that's The Fountain.
Ah.
Because you want to talk about a
That's a six
score that hits way above everything else going on, it's this one.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been
Like,
the only
this-
thing going on.
This score will randomly play whenever I'm like shuffling music, and every time I'm like, damn, this is good. Is this from The Fountain?
And it always is.
It always
is, yeah.
I love that for you, Nathan.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
He's 100% not wrong. The Fountain score is punching.
I thought it was gonna be Queen of the Damned.
That's soundtrack.
For
Yeah, I mean,
soundtrack's sake?
if we were gonna go with a soundtrack, then sure.
Sure,
Queen of the
okay.
Damned has
Fair enough.
custom music from well-known middle
Yeah.
artists of that
Yes.
era,
Mm.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Spoiler: my soundtrack is Queen of the Damned. Actually,
That was one guy short.
It literally had
Figured.
Deftones on it. It has so many of my like of the times like new metal style and metal ones that are just custom sick. Like the movie had no reason to have a soundtrack that fucking hard, but it did, and it was wonderful.
With Alea as like the main
Yeah.
queen.
little
Made
dance,
no
a little,
sense.
little belly bump on that one. The score on this one should be probably not a big surprise to most of you guys on this one, and that's Jurassic Park. God, that score is good for a movie that's so good already. But God, that score is good.
Yeah.
I don't need to emphasize any more on that. But it had its time though.
John Williams.
It did have its
Uh-huh.
time. It had its time, and it's over.
So there. I won't leave your own for you. Mason. Go ahead.
That was hilarious. I remember going home and like, even though it worked for me, it's like, can you believe this?
Yeah. What a fucking chump. He said Jurassic Park had its time. 93, motherfucker. Right?
Yeah, and here we are in 2022.
More time. It barely hit 30 years.
I'm gonna go Never Back Down. The best soundtrack there ever was. Had to be.
Had to be.
It's great.
It is solid, and I don't care what they say. If you didn't like the movie, damn it, the soundtrack was good.
I don't think any of us would
Has
disagree.
Rise Again.
Best use of teenagers
Yes.
in a movie.
Yeah, it has My Chemical Romance.
It really is.
Yeah.
Has it all.
It's perfect.
Red jumpsuit.
Teenagers played by 27-year-olds. It is
Yeah,
the
whenever you
most.
said best use of teenagers, I was just thinking like the
Huh?
actors.
Yeah.
No.
Also technically correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my answer.
What a gem of a movie.
So good. Those X-ray shots, yeah.
But it had its time.
Oh my
It-
god.
it will have its time.
Oh, is it?
It's not there yet.
Oh, okay.
It's not
So
finished.
I picked as like I love scores and soundtracks for movies. I was so close to doing Never Back Down, but unfortunately, when I'm thinking of a movie's soundtrack, I want to associate those songs with that movie. So it needs to be a good song that elicits memories of that movie. And Never Back Down is not the case. I was listening to all those songs long before I saw
Yeah,
this movie,
that's
long before
true.
this movie came out. So I can't go with it for that reason. I'm ready for everybody to scream, but I love Promare score. I think it has such good songs from like, and it's songs, not soundtrack. It's songs because like Inferno is one of my top played songs. Nexus is up there. Gallant Ones. It has such good songs, and every time I hear them, like kind of like Nathan, like he was listening to the Fountains, like
I was
it's like
gonna
this
say.
is a pump up music. This has to be Promare. This has to be Promare, and it is every time. It's so good. The soundtrack, I'm telling you, all of the like gloss of Promare is amazing. If you dive a little deeper and you're like, I want story, I want characters, I want quietness, that's not that movie.
No.
We agree
You
there.
want to go to bed?
If you don't want your eyes to bleed, not the movie for you.
But that's what I'm in the mood for at that point. So for score though, basically you could put all of Ghibli's movies on a wheel, spin it, throw an arrow at it, and that's going to be the movie that I pick for this. Mm-hmm. And for this one, I'm going with Kiki's Delivery Service. That's what the arrow landed on this time.
It's a pretty upbeat little score.
It's just so upbeat. It just matches the tone of everything that's going for. If you haven't, I mean, I'd recommend it. It's one of the songs on it is called Mother's Broom. It's so good. I mean, every song on there, or every soundtrack score, number, that's what it is. Every number on there is so good. I mean, I've been trying to see the composer for Ghibli movies for so long, but he never comes around here. I forgot his name.
Yeah, he doesn't come to Kentucky.
No, I'll go anywhere in America to do it, but he's like 80 now, so
yeah. Well, I mean, John Williams is 91 or something. Like
he scored like everything.
He scored everything in the 80s. That was good.
But even so, if you went to go see someone like him, you're not gonna probably see a lot of the ones that you like. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
It would be like going to see like. I don't know.
Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and them not playing face down.
They're gonna play that.
Well, what if they didn't?
I was gonna say like Coldplay or something when they have like 30 hits and you're gonna be lucky if they.
I'm not asking for the soundtrack of my Suicide Booth. I was asking for something else.
Yeah. Oh.
But anyway, next one is movie that you want a sequel to.
So this one's gonna have an asterisk to it because objectively there is a sequel to it, but it does not have who it should for its lead, and it's The Punisher.
Hell yeah, Warzone.
Warzone was bad.
Awful.
It's
don't
not,
watch it.
It doesn't even feel like it's like the same.
It's not
anything. It feels so spiritually disconnected from Thomas Jane's The Punisher. And as I was going through the list again, I was sitting and thinking, I was like, do I just pick Jurassic Park? But actually, not what we got for all the sequels of it.
Yeah.
But no, The Punisher was sick. If I got more Thomas Jane, like early 2000s, that tone, a little bit more budget. A little bit of the fun wackiness of it. The tone of that was so good.
If you could have another villain similar-ish or like of the same realm as John Travolta,
right,
it'd be great. Like Kingpin would be for the Daredevil,
exactly.
But like
hell,
cheese him up a little bit.
Just give me Thomas Jane against Vincent D'Onofrio for a while, right? Like
cool.
I'm already so on board with that as an idea. There's my Marvel shill coming through with that. I dug up The Punisher and said, you know what? More of that I'm okay with. The closest we get is Dirty Laundry, which is like a 30-something YouTube video that if you haven't seen, worth watching.
I might watch it.
It's great. But yeah, The Punisher.
I think Warzone, just to give you guys a little thing, the first like 6 minutes, it's supposed to be like The Punisher's like not quite connected like sequel.
Yeah.
It's a totally different dude. In the first 5 minutes of it, he like swings in. All these bigwigs are having dinner and nice dinner, and dude, he's like spinning. He's hanging upside down, spinning around, like shooting everyone in the face while they're like eating dinner. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it never slows down after that. It is the most over-the-top bullshit you've ever seen.
You know how we got exhausted by Mad Max?
Yes.
You're tired in the first 15 minutes of The Punisher.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
Anyways, that's Warzone.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Oh, so mine also has an asterisk because it is coming out with a sequel, and It Follows.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, we got to announce something.
That's a good one.
And it's called They Follow, which I think is a little cheeky, but that's fine.
Now
it's supposed to still have the same director and the same girl, so
Love it.
maybe it's going to suck.
Your woman.
My woman.
Hey, she's great.
Micah Monroe.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see it, and it might be trash.
So we're going to go watch that in theaters?
Let's do it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If it's even in theaters, it
might not.
It might go. It might be a streaming like an Apple or something.
I could see that being like a Hulu movie.
This one really stood out to me when I was finally looking through. I had a hard time finding one. Then I found one. I was like, it has to be this one, and that is Little Shop of Horrors. I think a sequel to that would be so cool.
Which ending?
I was gonna say.
Unfortunately, the one that's cooler is them destroying the city.
Yeah.
Doesn't make for a great sequel though.
Pretty boring sequel.
So I think like the like canon sequel of like the plants getting
fence.
like going everywhere and everybody getting one. I think there's a lot of potential there for a good follow up to the original on that. Not with the same character, not with what's his face? I forgot his name. Seymour. Seymour. Not with him.
Buddy Holly.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of. I would love to have more music from that world, more like plant action, more puppetry,
more Audrey.
Yeah.
More Audrey 2, maybe Audrey 3, maybe upgrade to 4.
I met Audrey something or another at the.
You did. That was awesome.
Dude, that was a sick costume. Audrey from Nashville at Halloween. If you were Audrey and you were watching this video for some reason, and that was you. Hey, I got a sweet picture with you. Thank you. I was Cookie Monster. You remember? Nathan.
I'm gonna go with The Fifth Element.
Almost, yeah.
I feel like that's a franchise that hasn't seen very much attention, but has like the legs to be a world that could tell some interesting stories in it.
Yep.
You don't really. There's not a lot of light-hearted sci-fi that is definitely in a Blade Runner-esque future, because we got the flying cars and everything going on, but again, light-hearted comedy.
Chris Tucker is like a drag.
Just like over-the-top characters and whatnot. Like I think there could definitely be a sequel to that would be very entertaining.
Would it be called the Sixth Element?
It'd be called The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, you're right.
Nathan, are you
You're
okay?
so smart.
Are you okay if we just put you in a deep freeze for like 1,000 years?
Yes,
so
you'll get your
live in
sequel.
this cyberpunk
No,
future
because
that
he'll
you
end
want
up
to be
in
in so
Idiocracy,
bad.
and he's gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, you would be furious.
Nathan would be like, "Do you like money?"
I like money.
I
like
money.
There's our Idiocracy reference for the whole.
You think that one's gonna get picked on here sometime?
No.
Literally, like anybody from this time ends up in that time, they're gonna win.
Yeah, 100%.
Like there's you've got that future on lock after that.
Best costume design. Some of these categories.
So I like this category, but I'm gonna have to go with another answer because I'm saving this other one for later. It's definitely gonna be the outfit. It's very easy, very simple. They probably didn't even have to dig too deep into the closet for that one.
They just had to pick out their own like
4
outfits.
blazers. Yeah,
they
that's it.
They brought in their own attire. For that.
100%. And they said, well, this looks old. That's fine.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's cool. Everything in, not just costume design, but like the set scene, setup and all that stuff.
The design of the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean everything was great. I think they.
It's
paid
in one
attention.
place. It better be good.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. They did it right.
And so we agree that it's good.
There's no Starbucks cups laying around.
Not a one.
That movie's so awesome.
The outfit was
So good.
delightful. But yeah, whenever I think of like costumes, that's easy. It's like mobster kind of,
Yeah.
in the 50s, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
So I did a Nathan pick on this one. I picked Wizards of the Lost Kingdom.
Oh,
Oh,
all those
my
gowns.
So
no,
many,
mainly for one in
Oh, there's
particular.
one costume worth noting.
Yeah, it's the Chewbacca one.
I was trying to think of his name.
Ever
Like-
since Nathan was like, "This is the movie that you're
Something
looking at," and it's like
Gill strip or something.
it's like white Chewbacca that's been melted down.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this movie in my life right now. And then you got him, which is the creme de la creme of costume design, and then you have everybody else who's wearing these like 1960 style Renaissance fair knockoff costumes.
Like
in a bad way.
I
Yeah.
am here for it.
Spirit Halloween Renaissance
Yeah.
is what this movie's style
I mean,
is.
there's literally a gnome dressed almost like a garden gnome.
Yes.
Oh man, I did a Nathan pick and Nathan reason.
It also looked like
and
the
I feel
Brady
great
Bunch.
for it.
Like the colors looked like they would wear these in the same
the
as
color
Brady
palette
Bunch.
definitely. It looks like it was filmed with the same camera.
Yes.
Just costumes, not set design. Just costumes.
Wait, you're telling me you wouldn't have picked it for the set design?
No, the set
Come
design.
on.
design's pretty funny.
They went through a lot of effort spray painting that section of the forest with
Right.
gray spray paint.
Yes.
That's true.
Oh my
I commend
God.
them.
That's it.
I'm gonna go with one that I've probably gone with before, but I mean it's still the right answer. The Cell. The Cell
Yeah,
has
that's a great
exceptional costumes.
Wild.
The
to me.
flowing dress.
Just the big villain in his like big throne room with the freaking robe cape kind of deal that's coming out behind him, literally wrapping around the entire building and just slowly like coming off of the wall as he descends the stairs. Peak. Like,
Okay.
that is costume design.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. I'll say honorable mention.
Yeah, that was a beautiful description. I don't remember any of that.
No, I did. Honorable mention. That was on mine for this. Because all I could think of was that huge flowing dress and all of this stuff. Yeah,
It
that
was
was awesome. J-Lo's just in underwear at one point.
Yeah, I remember
at the beginning of the
that,
movie.
yeah.
Fantastic costume.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Just walking through the desert or something with a horse.
However, speaking of slightly sexy costumes that I feel like are underappreciated.
Zardos.
Sucker Punch.
Come on!
Yeah!
Do Zardos!
No!
You coward!
Sucker
No.
Punch! Sucker Punch actually has really good costume design. It's like this... sure, could the costume design best be summed up as Zack Snyder's fetishizing of like schoolgirls in various times and locations?
and goth girls.
And goth girls with it. But yeah, fuck you. I like what I like, okay? Zack Snyder, let him cook on that one in one specific way. The costumes were really solid. Am I wrong?
They were.
Yeah,
No,
they were cool.
that's a great pick.
They have like the fetishized army one, then they have fetishized a ninja one,
and
the
it fits
samurai one.
too.
But it did
because it's dark. It's this dreary world. It's
Yeah.
obviously very like
The sexuality is painted
imagination,
throughout.
just completely going nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the costume at the very least served what the movie's tone was going for the entire time, and I thought that they did a
I've
great
always
job.
felt like that movie was what guys think female empowerment should look like.
Yeah, this is what women want when they say they want.
Yeah. We know what they want. It's this.
Yeah, thank you, Zack Snyder, for explaining it to me.
Also, just a side note to that. Whenever I think we were playing video games while we were talking about it,
We were.
we did an Alice in Wonderland
Yeah.
thing, and that's when I think of Sucker Punch. Thanks a lot. I think of Alice in Wonderland.
Alice Returns.
Because I swear they're the exact same thing.
I mean, I picked that for a reason.
That's
true,
that's a good
Aesthetically, they're
pick.
very similar.
Yeah.
It's frauding into your brain now. You have
It is. It's locked in. I can't
Really, it's
change
more
it.
Pavlovian, but no, I'm not going to split hairs. Next one.
Next one is most memorable death, and there was a lot of death in our movies. These
We all
200
want
ones.
I love
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna go with the objectively right answer on this one because
I got you
want
covered.
to. You
I
do
got
have
you
me covered.
I got
Okay.
you covered. No worries.
So the most memorable one for me, Price, me,
Press button.
is the one that you all know I'm gonna pick, and that is Taquito dying.
Yes.
That's honestly the only time I have Tim and Eric on my list, so I think that's a perfect slot to put it in.
Yep.
Saved
Him
him.
taking
That's the best part.
like 20 shots to die with Will Ferrell. They're like, they first start out crying. They're like, Taquito, like, no, like, keep him alive. And then finally at the end, they're like, just shoot him in the face. Like, no, my boy Taquito's going to have an open casket.
casket,
And they're like, I'm almost dead.
Ah.
And then finally shoots him like a sixth time. And then Will Ferrell leans in and like to listen for him breathing. They're like, is he dead? Is he dead now? Like, yeah, he's dead now. They're like, okay. And then they just move on.
Love it.
So I love it. That's the most memorable one for me.
It's the only redeeming thing in that movie for me. Is that
I remember
one.
the sword shop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I sell one sword a month. I'm good. I sell one sword a year. I'm even better. Any other scenes you want me to do?
Dude, I love that movie. That movie that almost made the most surprising for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll throw an honorable mention: The Scanner Darkly with the Sins of Freck. Him killing himself. I have picked that one before for
So
this
many
category.
times.
Yeah.
I love it.
Come on.
It's still great. Another one is Third Star.
I'm still going.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But Third Star also, that's a pretty memorable death.
Didn't watch it.
That you don't really expect a man to be like, I want you to drown me.
Yeah. Hey,
I want
That's
to die.
right.
Yeah,
That's at the
I want you to
end.
drown me.
It's like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict
too.
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cumberdick.
But it's gonna be Rain of Fire.
Yeah!
Jumping with the axe to kill the dragon, and then the dragon just fucking eats you.
That's what I was wanting to pick, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Like Matthew McConaughey too, right?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Bald.
Yeah, like
Matthew McConaughey being his
literally
best
the
Tom
most
Hardy.
unexpected version of Matthew McConaughey you'll probably ever see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I,
It's
see
maybe
it,
my-
and I see it right over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've watched True Detective, and this is still my favorite Matthew McConaughey role. Like, it's fantastic. Probably didn't have you covered, but I did. I'm gonna go back to Snatch again because it's Boris the Blade. Quit taking the shit, Boris.
I cannot believe you're not picking Rain of Fire for how much you talk about it.
I had such a strong idea that he was gonna do it. I was like, no, Nathan, there's no way Nathan skips over that one. And I knew I was like, there's a 50-50 chance that it's either me or Price. If Price doesn't do it, I have to do it. So the Snatch one,
It's great.
it's so good. I rewatched the scene. He shoots him 17 times.
Jesus Christ.
You don't realize it
That's
until
a clip.
Yeah, that's way more than I was.
than you would think, right?
Yeah.
He shoots through the walls a couple of times, and he only hits Boris. He comes through. He shoots Boris 5 or 6 times. Leaves, goes over, starts intimidating other people. Boris says, "Fuck you! Quit taking the piss, Boris." Empties the clip again. Reloads a new clip. And Boris, "Fuck you!" again. Shoots the whole clip.
Oh my god.
And then one more time goes back for the headshot. It is so
Not excessive.
so
Not excessive.
good. I love that whole scene with.
If I ever make a movie, I'm gonna include that. Something like that. And
You'll
I'll
get
know
us.
I'll have one fan.
You're gonna get at
Yeah.
least a 7 out of 10 out of me because I'm gonna get a good hearty laugh out of it every single time. Mason.
My pick's probably going to be pretty boring compared to all these. And I Am Legend.
Oh,
Boo this man!
Well, the dog gets, infected for battling, trying to
Oh,
save.
the dog death?
Yeah.
Okay,
the
I'm
dog
way
death.
more on board with that.
Exactly. I do think that it's
not
quite a
well.
bit more miserable.
Yeah.
Or, memorable. Also
Yeah.
miserable.
It is.
But yeah, she's trying to save the owner, trying to save Will Smith, and she gets infected, and he just has to, just
Hug her
it's
out.
rough. Yeah.
Hug her to sleep.
Some of the best acting Will Smith's ever done.
Yeah.
Besides being married.
So,
Oh, we can say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one we got on the list is the fattest movie. We're getting back to being mean to each other. So,
Especially to one person.
especially for one person.
It's just me.
Yeah,
It's just you pick which one of mine you wanna criticize.
we will, actually.
I will
Probably
too,
will.
because I'm gonna pick Excalibur, and
Aw.
you would think I might pick the Green Knight, but I pick Excalibur because there's a whole section where Lancelot is like lost in the woods.
Like
Yeah.
an epilogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the movie could be over, and it maybe could have been, but it just keeps going, and like you're lost in the woods. And anytime I recall this movie, I always think that section seemed really long
Pointless.
and
was.
pointless, and I can't ever pin down how long was spent faffing about there. But it seems like it was a good portion of the movie.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking
Pure faff.
I'm taking my turn because obviously that's the right pick.
Yeah.
I am going to triple down. And also, I have Excalibur on here.
Oh.
Oh man, Nathan, you got a 3
I'm
on
so
that
sorry, Nathan. So you just said the Green Knight, for instance, okay?
Yeah.
The reason why I definitely
I don't
like the Green
I
Knight.
don't
Green Knight
pick
was
the Green Knight
close.
because it's visually good.
Yes, it's
Whereas
actually fun
the
to
part
watch.
with Excalibur
Yes.
with Lancelot in the woods is not visually appealing. It's just a waste of time.
Everything is a
And-
waste of time.
And for the same reason why he thought that they had goofy costumes and wizards of whatever, I honestly think of just clanky Lancelot like doing the robot through the forest
Forest, yeah.
and like goofy ass wizard hats. I don't know if he had a hat. I don't think Merlin,
Merlin.
had that.
Merlin.
Merlin had a skull cap.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he had the cap, not
Yeah.
the long.
Oh yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
have like your traditional.
And it took itself seriously, which makes it even worse. Like Wizards of the Lost Kingdom, it's like they may be taking it seriously, but it's
took
like
the
a
piss.
toddler
And it was
taking
half the
themselves
time.
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
and
half
half
the
the time.
time.
Excalibur was such a waste of time. We watched a lot of shorter movies that were super fat as well, but this one fits both. It's way too long, and there's way too much you could cut out of this movie. So Dylan, as the odd man out,
Honorable
who you throw
mention.
under the best?
Was Excalibur.
Oh, hey, you cannot pick Lawnmower Man extended cut. That's
Really?
not,
I mean,
that's
you
not
could.
fair.
I mean, I could. I watched it.
No, you can only pick Lawnmower Man. You went
So,
off book and did that.
I will say this. Excalibur, which if I recall correctly, was probably my answer the last time this question was posed,
Probably.
is a very, very, very
I feel
fat
like it's the
movie.
most beaten
Wait a
to death
second.
movie.
However,
Dylan?
there's a percent of movie that... No. it's
Ah!
not. There's a percent of movie that is near 100% that is fat. And Excalibur, at least, has moments of interesting action, cool little things,
There's
mom
nudity,
banging,
you heathen.
nudity. You know.
It opens with a guy in full plate armor and a naked woman.
Yes. This movie knew how to keep me interested.
If only it would kept that tone the whole time.
Honestly?
If only it did.
I don't disagree with Price. But Birdemic is almost nearly 100%
Okay.
a cuttable movie.
Ah, dang it,
I
right.
could have cut that way and I forgot about it.
You know what? When you said, what do you leave, is the question, and I think nothing. Nothing is worth
You
leaving.
edit the fuck out of
The
this
closest
movie.
this movie comes to keeping anything of my interest is the girl gets somewhat nude for a little bit, and how fucking dare
And
you
it's
tease
so
me?
hilarious. It pans up, and then she's like, "You like what you see?" And then he's in the bed
And he's just
with his shirt.
and it immediately ruins the vibe with him.
And he's just like,
and his
"Ah."
pasty face and no acting, and I'm like,
And the
you know
feet.
what? And then the
And then they
feet
start-
playing with each other. It doesn't even do the intimacy. The one thing it should be doing, kind of right. It wastes everything. Everything this movie was given was wasted.
Dang it.
100% of this movie
At the,
is fat.
at the beginning of that movie, all of you don't know what to expect, and it starts out with that 10-minute intro scene.
Mustang driving through the curvy
Oh, you know
ass.
what? You know
Of the-
what's great? I don't know if you remember this, but John and Annabeth watched this movie too.
Oh, they did.
They have only ever watched the worst picks.
Yeah, that's
for
up
sure.
there.
So you know if they're sitting in with you to watch something,
Yeah,
whatever it
it's
is.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
gonna
good.
be
It's gonna be
bad.
garbage.
It's
Also-
not gonna be good.
Also, the bird chirps upset my dog.
I do remember you saying that.
He was triggered every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah, right after that sex scene, and they start fighting the birds, and they're going like that, and it's just meep, meep, meep.
That's when it all kind of like started to happen.
Because
Yeah.
they don't know how to audio mix, so the only thing you hear are
We
the
know how to
birds.
audio mix better than they do, and we proved it.
with our lapel mics.
With our lapel mics.
All of those were correct answers. Good
Yes.
job, boys.
All two.
All two were the correct answers for this question.
Next, we have something to bring us right back up to the positive end of the spectrum, and that is best dinner table scene.
Oh.
This is one of the fun ones that we have been waiting to talk about.
Oh, I'm so glad about my answers. This is, I think, my most clever answer. And I wonder if anybody syncs up with this one.
You did. Nah, I didn't do a clever one.
So, there's a lot of dinner table scenes. Firstly, I don't know if there's a bad dinner table scene thinking about it. All of them are quite
Yeah,
enjoyable.
No, not really.
But one that
Shit
stuck
goes
out
down.
was putting your fingers up the wrong way. And objectively, this is a bar table, but I'm gonna go ahead and round it in because they look like they were having drinks and stuff, and it's
Inglourious.
Inglorious
Yeah.
Bastards.
Ah, you cheeky man.
Ah, told you, clever boy. That's what they still called me in school.
They're
Yeah.
probably serving like croutons.
Yeah, there's probably some
bar
peanuts.
nuts.
There's peanuts
Yeah.
there.
But
There's
it
peanuts
is like
and
a
drinks.
dinner table scene. 'cause
But
it's like
but
they're-
it plays just like a dinner table scene.
it does.
Right. So, and it's the fun build up, it's in the conflict, and you give them the wrong three, and oh shit. All of it goes off the fucking rails, and it's a great conclusion or rising moment to the whole like scene and how it develops in Inglorious Bastards. I need to give Inglorious somethings because I didn't give it Hans.
Yeah,
So
that's a good answer.
it's the dinner
Yeah.
table scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just chime in and say that I was also going to pick Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah.
For that same one?
What?
No,
No, it's
not
the
the-
morning
not
one.
the same
Or
one.
It's the opening
No,
scene.
it's actually the one where she's like meeting with all the theater people.
Ah.
Oh, the one I was just talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah, the
with
cream.
the cream and
Yeah,
everything.
The cream.
Yeah, yeah.
That movie has 3 really good table scenes.
It
Yeah,
does.
because the whole time she's like trying to keep it cool the whole time, and then like Lieutenant Han shows
Well,
up, and
and
she's
like
just
she
like,
goes to get up, and he just like puts his hand on her shoulder
Yeah.
to be like, "No, you're staying here."
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Okay,
That's-
that's the only
that's
reason
a
I'm
good
going to
one.
headcanon why it won the bracket. Was
Oh,
that
there you
it
go.
had, in fact, 3 dinner table scenes.
it was
worth
too
of-
stacked.
It was
Jurassic Park had one, I think.
We have 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
There's
a
a
dinner
jealous.
table. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, trying to think if there was more, but man,
Yeah.
There's not.
That's right.
I know that movie.
Outweighs it.
Yeah. Sorry, 3 dinner
Facts
table
are
scenes is
facts.
better
it's
than
on the
1.
scale.
Facts are
Facts
facts.
are facts. Yeah.
Mine was a split between Whiplash, which is the one that we always argue about, whether or not Miles Teller was a decent human being
He's a
versus was
shitty
he
human
justified.
being.
You know,
I've
we
watched
can
that
go
so
on.
many times, and I flip flop like
I know.
every time.
Yeah.
It's like Marriage Story. I just
I like that one because of the dialogue and,
Yeah.
and the sassiness and the one line, you know, just the
It's got good
put
zingers.
downs.
It's
Yeah,
got
the
good
zingers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That one's fantastic, but I'm gonna go with Brothers.
yeah.
dang it, Mason! I
We
went with
had
the
to.
same dang one.
Yeah!
the freaking balloon.
I had to because the whole time she like out of nowhere the little kid's like that's because he had sex with your wife.
You're just mad because
What
I
is
would rather
happening?
sleep with him than sleep with him. And then, dude, oh god. And of course that's like the prelude to like the kitchen just getting absolutely.
Obliterated.
And Toby
Obliterated.
Maguire just Maguiring the
And
kitchen.
I know how much a brand new kitchen costs.
Yeah.
And that hurts me more to think about now.
Yeah.
So there's my answer.
Just the sassy girl coming out of nowhere. That to me is what like it didn't spark because I didn't come up with this question, but it sparked like me being like, yeah, we need a category for this because it's so outrageous
Yes.
that the movies think that this is what happens at dinner tables and only at dinner tables.
Well,
And
that kind of sparked it all.
It did.
This is the
It
movie
did.
that created this question. So
Yeah,
this
it
is
did.
objectively, and this was a lot of ours first answers on this one.
Yeah.
So this test
Well,
of time.
We
Yeah.
also had talking about more of this type was like Brokeback Mountain had that weird odd one.
Oh yeah,
At
it
the
does.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What was that? It was like
It's
Her
like her part.
family?
Yeah, it's her family, but they're like almost like it's almost like they know that he's like going out and hooking up with like they're
Yeah.
playing that like
and
Okay.
it's weird.
they're pressing him about it,
Yeah.
but it's just this tense like entire time like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
us, just cowboys, cowboy.
Ju-
Cowboys
we're-
being cowboys.
Wyoming is a safe haven for non-gay stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally straight there. Yeah.
All right, so the next one was a debated category that I don't know. If you don't have an answer, that's fine. Best anime / best animated.
Don't have one.
I mean, I'll pick real fast.
Alita Battle Angel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, Again, we
It's-
just add like horror and every other category.
That's the same
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could have. I was pitching questions in the chat, and I was like, this is what I feel passionate about.
You know what? Alita Battle Angel should get like nommed for
Go
something.
ahead.
Best animated, I had Puss in Boots 2, followed closely by Megamind. Best anime, I had Princess Mononoke, but Night is Short was a little bit better for me.
I'm gonna go with the Snow Queen.
Yeah.
Tell Hannah I picked her movie.
I'll let her know.
Please do.
Oh.
All right, so
She's
now
gonna ask if you did it satirically though, and I'm gonna
Tell
have
her
to...
it was serious.
Oh, okay.
But don't let her watch this.
Oh, okay.
Tell her it was.
She won't get this.
She won't get this far. She stopped in 4 minutes.
She's in the 4-minute club.
Yeah.
She's
Aren't
not
we
real.
all?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was my nickname in high school.
now we're doing the big kablowies, the big whammazamas. And we're going to start out with the negative side of those sides, and we're going to go with least favorite movie
By each.
by each.
By each.
Cool.
So we're going to start with Nathan.
Does that include your own?
I didn't think about that. Do you,
Maybe?
If
Let's
you have,
do it.
If you have an answer, go for it.
Alright, that's fine.
Okay. We're going to start out with Nathan. So, Dylan, least favorite Nathan movie.
Oh, just punish him.
Well, or do
No, I
we
like
each?
this. I like this.
Nah, I don't care.
Well, I mean, we're doing each of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So, no, this is the right way to do this.
Okay.
It's Mandy again. Again, going back to Lisa,
Aw.
it ties in with my Lisa.
Huh.
Right, this is a movie that should have been good, and I went in with a bar for Nathan a little too high per usual, and then just. And he's just screaming in this bathroom, and we're.
That's the best part.
It is, but it's funny because we're memeing it now.
Yeah, it is.
No, I mean it's
At
genuine.
the time, I'm
good.
with Dylan. I'm watching it. I'm like, can this scene end? I
But-
get the point.
And now we've memed it into fun, but it's how
No,
I feel.
I
about
enjoyed it in the moment.
Yeah.
It was so good that I paused it and then made Jill and Annabeth come and see it.
Ah! Ah!
Like, look at what's happening. This man's in his
This-
underwear.
This is acting. This is cinema.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
gonna get an
cinema.
Oscar for
Yeah.
this. Just you wait.
And then what happens? He kills a couple bikers doing who knows what.
Yeah, well, so you might forget he also makes his own custom ridiculous looking sword too.
God, I did forget that. This is getting into forgettable
definitely
territory
don't remember
now.
that. That's,
Yeah.
That's on me though.
Mandy sucks. And it should be good,
I
but it
agree.
sucks.
My answer for Nathan is a movie that we've watched most recently, probably is Zardos.
Ooh.
I
yeah.
actually hated
That's
that
a
movie.
good one.
After,
I actually hated the movie.
after the first 10 minutes, that movie starts absolutely spiraling. It
Mm.
sucked so bad. It
It
tried to
comes back
save
in the
itself
last
with nudity.
Part, though.
Yeah.
It comes back.
The last
Nathan, you
20%.
cannot defend yourself.
No, there was
Hold on, let
nudity
him cook.
throughout, and that was the only thing that I feel like it was holding on to, and it still was awful.
Yeah.
I could not stand that movie, and we had just watched The Wizards of the Lost Kingdom beforehand, and it was like,
it
all
can't
right,
get worse.
You can't get
yeah,
that.
and I, it was all right, you know, it's like, oh, okay.
Us
But then
and the whole
Zardos.
podcast. You can't keep getting away with this.
This is his worst one, right?
Yeah.
Right?
The best moment of Zardos was before watching Zardos, Nathan showing us this is what he wears the entire movie.
Yes.
No, dude, when the spirit head, like, spits out guns, it's like, penises are bad. Guns are good.
Never mind, that makes sense, right?
Done.
Yeah.
At that point, it gets just so
Mason
bad.
pauses it and is like, "Fuck you."
That's where the movie ends.
He watches it at 2x speed from that point forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that thing was just a vessel that they traveled through, and
Yeah.
I never really saw any more of it.
No, I
So.
didn't think about it.
Had a lot to pick through from Nathan's movies, believe it or
Truly the
not.
MVP of this category.
Definitely is. Honestly, though, for person who picked the worst movies, it's not Nathan at the top of the list for me.
Oh,
it's
no.
somebody else.
Oh.
And I am going to go with Space Sweepers because for this one, it's a
That
two.
was just bad.
For this one, it's a twofer for me, because one, it's extremely forgettable, and then once somebody like reminds me of the movie, I'm like, oh god, I did watch that, and it was terrible. Excalibur is like, yes, it was super long, I forgot about it, whatever. Space Sweepers was a chore the entire movie. It wasn't funny when it tried to be funny. It wasn't dramatic when it tried to be dramatic. It wasn't interesting to watch at any point, and apparently this movie had a very high budget for some reason, and everything about this is so bad. The acting's bad, the characters are bad, the person who made this movie's bad, Netflix is bad for greenlighting
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
This movie was so bad, and then I forgot about it, and then when you bring it up, it's like opening up a huge
Yeah, a big
scar. on
scar,
our
yep.
arm
Yeah.
that hasn't healed
just-
quite yet.
yeah.
The funny thing is, like, everything that you said is all the qualifiers that have like worked into most movies that I've picked, where it's just like the budget's higher than you were expected. The thing that has yet to be seen yet is, are the actors in this movie going to end up becoming famous actors that you see the better stuff down the road?
Is this their shit
That's
movie?
really like, is this the shit movie?
So, like, the
that
Fifth Element.
is the jumping off point for so many other
Scanner
things.
Darkly was the biggest indicator for that one for me. It was like, I've never heard of this movie, but like there's so many famous people in it for some reason. What is going on?
So Nathan's 2 categories now, because before it was just dystopian futures, but now it's dystopian futures and movies with actors that this is their bad movie. Like, this is their bad one.
Yeah.
Well,
You gotta crawl before you can walk.
It might also be this is before they were known.
Yeah, this is their before their time came movie.
Dylan, let's go.
Nathan,
Dylan.
no, we gotta have Nathan shit on his own.
Oh yeah,
self
yeah.
first.
Do you have one? If you have favorite?
Yeah, what?
I mean, Space Sweepers. It's just
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, I feel like I'm.
Why did you pick that?
What I was gonna say is I don't think I watched it beforehand.
Gotcha.
Because there's no way I would have picked.
Blind
it if I
picks have
watched
really
it
bit us on the ass most of the time.
Man, I
Because
hate that my last.
I feel like I remember
2
seeing
movies.
the trailer and thinking like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I think it was around the time that I'd like watched a bunch of stuff on Netflix for some reason,
Yeah.
including the
Easy to do.
platform.
Yeah.
I should have picked the platform.
Yeah, that
I
one,
liked
Tank
the
Girl.
platform.
I remember that one because you were trying to figure out
what's
Tank
that?
Girl. Tank Girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you watched a few of them.
Well, I've seen Tank Girl a few times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the platform is one that, like, in retrospect, I wish I would have replaced Space Sweepers with that.
It's another Netflix one that's kind of like kind of a play on society in a way, but in a very like condensed area.
It might get picked at some point because
Yeah.
I know you weren't a huge fan of it, but I really thought it was cool.
The idea of it's neat.
Dylan is
Ooh, can I get
the
it
next
first?
on the roast bench, and Mason, hit him with it.
I don't know what I'm gonna get in with.
Do you want me to go?
Now I got it.
I definitely have mine.
Yeah. So Bronson
Oh no!
by a landslide.
that one's
I could
great.
not stand Bronson.
I'm with you, Dylan.
No.
Bronson is this like awful like.
It's
He
bad.
has this terrible accent throughout that
He
like
does.
he's over the top. He's also mental, pretty much the entire time. Which
I don't know if that's
he
PC.
was a boxer,
and
right?
it gets exhausting.
Yeah. Oh, he's exhausting the first like 10 minutes.
He's
For
a
me,
he's a fighter. Is the term I
Yeah.
would use.
But
for
I mean,
that.
it's like Mad Max in a different way. You're just emotionally
Well-
exhausted.
yeah.
I
I was gonna say
was.
these are wildly different, but like
Yeah.
Bronson, I don't understand how it.
you didn't
came
like the guy
off the
shitting into his
floor.
hand?
Who approved it?
I don't understand how this thing got greenlit
Well, it's
because
based on a true story.
Yeah.
it is. And it's only because Tom Hardy agreed to do it, I
Oh,
think, is
yeah.
the only
Yeah.
reason why.
He
this
pulled
thing
that to the
came.
finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think of it, I think of 3 scenes that I can't stand. I don't like the Butter Me Up. I don't like.
Oh fuck you!
I don't like any of
That's
them.
good.
I think that they're all just. It's such an aggressive
Quicker!
movie for no
Quicker!
reason.
Say the
Aggressive-
next part.
And all it is like. And he just like keeps hitting people, right? Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he just knocks out the next guy, and then he just knocks out the
The
next
script
guy.
is
Loves
the
punching.
script
Yes.
almost always ends in and then Charlie assaults the person.
Yes, and then he lands in a even more
Sign
maximum
cell.
security
See it
cell.
about ends.
Yeah.
Yes, and I just remember being like, God, this is a little tiring, and it was only 14 minutes in. I'm just kidding. It was
Did we watch that together?
no.
I
I
can't
watched that
remember.
by myself. That's probably why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
This one is a very recent pick.
Oh, there it is.
It's a 0. It is Past Lives.
Oh.
I don't know how you'll think there's anything redeemable about this movie. The love story's not interesting. The characters are absolutely god awful. They are nothing. They are nothing. Nobody like not actors or whatever, because maybe they're great in other things.
Yeah.
But like that, but just they were not giving anything. The only time like they really give that much emotion is when she's walking away from him at the end of the movie and she cries. That's really it. Even the guy who's getting cucked the whole time is just like, it's whatever.
I'm
She
gonna
still
be here and
comes
be
home
real
to me.
awkward.
Yeah, and then there's nothing interesting to look at. The score, then soundtrack's not interesting. The setting is certainly not interesting. It's not supposed to be. I
New
get
York?
that because it's like normal everyday thing, and it's trying to portray a normal everyday kind of romance that could possibly happen. But get this, the thing is, when I watch a movie, I don't want to watch something that I could go talk to Charlie Schmo on the street and be like, hey, what's your love life like? And then he gives me the story. I don't need it in a movie format where I'm in a seat for an hour and a half trying to be entertained by something. Same reason I don't like the outfit, but the outfit at least had interesting dialogue and things going on. This movie had even less. There was nothing that I could get from this movie that I couldn't get from eating dirt.
The biggest, like, why don't you just move on, though? Like, that you could ever have in a movie, I think. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a dry and, like, well, that could have all been resolved 15 years, 24 years ago, or 12 years ago.
Because they
it.
never had a real connection. That's the thing that also really frustrates me. Is like they never had a real connection, and the whole movie is based on you're wondering what could have been.
Yeah.
That is the central theme of that movie, and I don't care. I don't care that they keep wondering what could have been. They both have lives now. They've grown past being 8 years old.
Sometimes I think, like, what if I could have, gone into politics and been the president? But I'm not going to make a movie about it. I don't want to even have anybody sit through that.
And it's like an hour and a half of Mason doing everyday life, then finally he's eating a Pop-Tart on the couch. I'm not going to be president anymore. Movie ends. He sheds a single tear.
Well, you know what? I'm going to make it edgy, and I'm going to say, all right, you know what? This is 7 years and then 14 years.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna make this fucker edgy.
You're just eating different kinds of Pop-Tarts to show the
I'm
passing of
evolving.
time.
Yes.
Nathan, your turn.
I'm gonna go with Swiss Army Man.
Ah.
I didn't like that movie.
You didn't like it.
I thought it was really.
You didn't like the fart?
I'm getting hot too.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Here, you may be the gentleman.
Hell.
You're getting them worked up. Yeah. I don't like this
It
film.
never quite.
Oh my God, you're
hit, like,
toasting.
I know it's warm.
Feel his jacket.
Ugh. Ugh.
it never quite hit like fantastical levels that it was always hovering near to. Yeah, it just, I don't know. I didn't really like this movie. It felt sloppy to me. It felt
Just like the
weird
farts.
and pointless.
They were sloppy.
That's a wild pick.
Well, it's also probably, if not the lowest, near the lowest score that I gave anything from Dylan.
Nathan is like really agreed with Dylan on his picks and
We're in
stuff.
a lot of the same wavelength. Even your bad stuff, I tend to like. I'm a defender of Waterworld, and I'm kind of a defender of Excalibur. The more I go on about it, but like, yeah, I can see your argument on Swiss Army Man. That's like. It's pretty far and away and again, that was a blind pick originally as well. That was one I had to see.
It's like it's one of those ones that you wouldn't even recommend to somebody if you thought they would find it funny. It's just like, no, just don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Dylan, pick your most terrible movie.
My
There's
most
one answer.
terrible movie is probably Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I had to go through on that one.
Yeah, but I mean, does that really count as his?
It almost should
for
be
you.
for you.
But he picked it.
I did end up
He
picking
picked
it. And
if you really wanted to
I'm
pick
gonna
something-
green light this one. That one sounds right.
Yeah,
If you-
yeah, right.
If you were picking something just for me, you would have picked like your mindset for me would just be like a monkey clapping its cymbals together.
If I had thought of Kung
Like,
Pao
yeah.
sooner, I would have gave you that
Yeah.
one. That would have been the
Yeah.
one. In hindsight, and it took me like several years to kind of get back on that one. I hate that for me, but I picked Brokeback, and Brokeback is a pretty bad movie. So
I just remember all of us like you had told us, all right, we're watching it, and I was like, man, subjectively, like we kind of probably need to like this.
Yeah.
And then like we were doing Zoom. We were like
during
on
COVID.
camera.
Oh God, even more reason. I hate that.
And I remember all of us like getting on there, and everyone started hating on it. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have to put up a front.
No
here.
front.
This movie sucks.
Yeah, because I think that might have been one of the early ones where we were unanimously like, this movie's bad, and like
what the
everybody.
hell?
yeah.
on the same
And I remember
page.
thinking like,
Yep.
I'm so mad at you for making me think you would like this price. Like, how dare you like dumb dramas that I thought you would like, and this is gonna be like one of those out of human.
So you thought like
dramas.
Foxcatcher with Ram Ranch was the key to my heart?
That had to have been the.
I mean,
the
that
gateway.
was the formula. I won't lie to you. Like, I think I even
I
said
can show
so
you
in
the
it.
math.
I was like, gay
You-
cowboys.
You really did gas up Foxcatcher for some reason. And,
Yeah.
of movies that you've been a fan of, that one is the least understandable.
Also, for
Well,
when we're
we'll come
done,
back to that.
like while we're talking, just think about like scores you would have changed. Just while we're going.
No, I stand by my scores.
Just
Yeah.
any minute. But anyway,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Mason's turn to be thrown under the bus.
Hit me.
All right,
And-
hold on. Do we all?
Hit me.
I have an idea that I think. No. No. Okay.
I feel like everyone's probably got a different one here.
Okay.
I
I
said
am versatile.
Dylan surprisingly probably has the least amount of like zeros and like ones I'd like the least.
To go.
It actually probably goes Nathan next. Mason by far has the most like movies where I'm like,
I like to get under
I
your skin.
Yeah,
hate
you do.
this. I hate this so much. Why would you pick that?
You are this
And
end of
I-
the spectrum for
And I feel equally passionate about both Frontiers
Yeah.
and Brick.
Don't you
okay.
do it!
Brick
Both
is
of
so
those
good.
movies, I will do half tirades on each because I can't take the time on each.
That's fun.
I
Frontiers.
feel like you need to rewatch Brick.
You need to rewatch Brick.
Okay, I'll do Brick first. Brick likes to like think that it's being like this smart like noir set kind of setting, like underground kind of thing with these child actors portraying it. It is the most pretentious thing, one of the most pretentious movies in my opinion that we have watched, because I hate these kids acting like they're these big tough drug dealers that people respect and want to like try to be and aspire to be. And it's all terrible. They all talk in this stupid nonsense vocabulary. The fact that Dylan hated this movie or liked this movie for that kind of vocab,
Yeah.
but then hated Jennifer's body because he was like, they're just using language I don't understand. That's what Brick is.
No.
That's what Brick is, except they're using made up
Brick
vocabulary.
Brick had like contextual things that made the language make
But
sense.
it's vocab
And it was
that's
also
still
like
is stupid.
Brooklyn, like, I don't know, it was this weird.
I have the pillow. There's no defense right now because I'm going to be in this seat next.
Get while you can, boys.
And man, this movie, I hated that movie so much. And then for the other half, for Frontiers, it's just nothing. It's just like it has these series of like highs and lows that like keep just throwing you up and down. Like there's creative kills and stuff, but I don't know what the movie was trying to be. Like, it's like grotesque, and then there's like this Nazi family at the same time, and then they're trying to get out. I just don't know what it's trying to be. It's not scary. It's not interesting. And even the gore that they use, I didn't think was that great. Some of the kills, like I said, were interesting. Like the one where they put him in the pressure cooker or whatever. Like, that one was kind of interesting. But as for the rest of it, was so boring. And that's the biggest that's really what makes a 0 for me, is if it's boring. If it doesn't do anything, then it's like I don't know what the point of watching it is. Even like Wizards of the Lost Kingdom or Zardos, they're interesting. It's like I said, Wizards of the Lost Kingdom is like watching toddlers put on a play for you. Like it's still interesting. And
one of those toddlers is going to be yours, and
Yeah.
you have to like them, so you might as well enjoy the whole thing.
and it's
anyway.
Chewbacca.
And it's Chewbacca.
Yeah, it's Chewbacca.
It's definitely Chewbacca.
Am I saying now what
Yeah.
mine
Yeah.
is?
Nathan,
Well,
be gentle.
Frontiers is obviously a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But is it the one that I?
Oh no!
Oh, no, yes,
Oh no!
that makes sense.
He's
Yeah.
teeing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what it is.
Yeah, it
we
is.
know what it's always been.
A Kobayashi.
We started early, and it has never been topped. It's raw.
200
I don't
movies
like
later.
that.
I'm glad my third movie I've ever picked is still living.
The
It's
staying
best
power.
life.
Rent free in Nathan's mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. You know, whenever I watch that movie too, it's not like I watched it like full screen or anything.
Yeah.
No.
I watched it like this size.
Yeah, because you were at the
And
office or something.
I was still like, I would like cover sections with my hands
Yeah.
too. Still, no,
Yeah.
no,
Mm.
don't like it.
Mm.
Are there any close to that? Because that's like we know that answer. Is there any close?
Frontiers
Well, I
is
mean,
fun.
whenever you talk about anything else, just like, well, Frontiers was just a bad movie.
Yeah.
It was just a bad movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
And Nathan's like, listen, I watch bad movies on the daily,
Yeah, I-
so this
like-
is nothing. to me."
Yeah, that was nothing.
Like, you guys don't understand just how many, like, I
I
deliberately
believe
watch
you.
bad movies.
I believe
These
you.
bad movies, are they your singular focus, or are you doing something on the side?
I'm never just watching a movie.
Never.
Who does that? That's weird.
I do.
That's what I do.
I'm weird.
Yeah.
That's not weird.
It's just lazy. God, get your...
Get,
You
more stuff done.
you tell
Why
me
are you
that
sitting there
I-
watching a movie?
I cleared off everything to watch the movie.
You tell me I have TikTok brain and you all are doing this all the time?
Whoa, hold on. Don't put me in with these white devils now. Anyway, TLDR, it's Frontiers. The movie sucks. They shot the farm. I forgot about the whole Nazi thing. Yeah, they just...
The family was the coolest part,
That was-
and it wasn't good.
No,
Like,
it felt,
Yeah, wasn't there like inbreeding or something going
Yeah.
on? with it,
Yeah.
too?
That's what the Big
Yeah.
Brother was. Like, he was like.
and that's why they dress What's Her up into the sheer dress because they're like, all right, we're a little too inbred, guys. We need to water it down.
Well, and she was also like in a wig or something. I can't remember. She was.
Oh,
a
they shaved her
brunette.
head. Yeah, no, they shaved her head.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, because she would. Yeah. Anyways.
Mason, your pick.
No, it's 100% Frontiers.
Yeah.
And you watched that before. It's the
and
funniest.
that's the worst part. It's like I remember it being
That's
decent.
wild.
Yeah. You were like, this was like a 6, and then you were like, no, this is a 2. My bad. Like
I have an idea for maybe a future movie.
That's
that
gonna
could
be
top it.
Maybe,
Frontiers 2.
but also might.
Frontiers 2,
Frontiers.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Frontiers with 2 S's.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
in parentheses. I can't really think. If I had to pick another one, for some reason in this group, I don't like that I picked It's Kind of a Funny Story as
Oh,
much.
I disagree.
I know, you're high on it.
Yeah.
I'm not bad on it. I like it.
It fits into those rank 3 teen rom.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it has like Zach Galifianakis and Emma Roberts. You know, it has a few different like,
Soy Boy
characters.
himself.
Soy Boy himself.
We love. You know what?
On the
No.
scene.
Keir Gilchrist, yeah.
Yeah, dude. We've watched so many of his. How many?
It follows as he's the main one.
He's
and
the
then-
main soy boy in that one too.
Who's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna get a demon in me.
Fuck me though.
Give it to me.
Yeah, but she's about to get a demon in her. Nah, I mean, nah, me. Yeah.
That's gonna be my 2 picks though. It's definitely Frontiers. If I had to have a second, it would have been that one. But hit him.
Now the moment that you've all been waiting for, I'm sure.
I want to go last.
Put him down.
Can I go first? With the
It's Nathan's turn, but if you want to go
well,
out
I'm gonna
order.
say Birdemic. I've long hated that movie, and I don't think that it's.
That's
ever,
an honorable mention.
Yeah, that's for me is Birdemic flat. I'll leave it at that.
I'll be right back
It's
with you.
it's never like I feel like it's always so obvious because there's just a couple of them that got established early on.
Yeah.
Like the Swiss Army Man, that was just kind of like that. That was honestly a bit of a surprise to myself because I never really thought like what movie do I least like that Dylan has picked. I know what movies I
Yeah.
like that these two picked.
We rocked him early on.
Yeah.
We got inside that head.
Yeah, Tim and Eric, that movie sucks.
Yeah.
More than Birdemic?
Yeah.
If you didn't have to watch it twice.
It doesn't matter.
Still bad.
Yeah,
Man.
no, Tim and Eric's is worse. Like it's one of those things where it's like to some degree it's like yeah it can be funny like got to get that wolf and all that like that's funny. The movie sucks. I hate it. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty grotesque.
Shrimp.
I'm not
Shrimp
that it's just not my class of humor.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I mean like disgusting humor stuff like I can be good with, but just Tim and Eric's no. And I don't know if I've even seen anything else that they've done, but
Why would
I don't
you?
think I want to.
Yeah.
Because if it's anything like that, which I'm sure it is, then I won't find it funny at all. I won't laugh.
I'm the opposite. I should watch more and I don't.
I
Whoops.
Think of it. My night just got filled up. I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
So, I wanted to take this little special moment because there's no person on this podcast with more honorable mentions in this category than you, Price Bell. In order, there's your accolade with it. I was thinking about it and then I was just like, okay, Promare is pretty fucking bad. Tim and Eric is worse. And then it's like, what were we just like?
And you got Ride Your Wave.
Ride Your Wave is
that is not down there.
It has good moments,
pretty
but it's pretty
dumb.
That's
bad.
not
It's pretty-
Birdemic.
It's dumb. And then there's Birdemic. And then I remembered, oh my god, there's Pathology too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
No.
that movie's
Yeah.
fucking terrible. That movie's so bad. I think I ended up, if I recall correctly, I gave it a worse score. But in hindsight, I just don't know if I hate a movie more than Foxcatcher. God damn, I hate that movie.
That is a good point.
That movie
Dylan's
is
brought
so-
up some pretty good
You know,
ones.
that's a
Crazy.
movie that I was going to say, like, at the end of this, like, we should, like, discuss what movies we're surprised never got brought up.
Yeah,
And Foxcatcher.
Oh no, I'm bringing it back up. No, that movie fucking sucks. That movie's so bad. That movie's so bad. It's so dumb. It's so and Price has just got so many dumb movies, but this movie's even dumber. It's
And
dumb.
it wants to be smart.
It doesn't know it.
Yeah.
It doesn't know how
Yeah.
dumb it is.
Yeah.
That's how fucking bad this movie is.
Yeah.
And they wrestle? The stupid idiots.
I don't agree. I see. That's
and
why I
then
don't
he shoots
agree.
the guy at
Well,
the end because
and
fuck.
even
Why
worse
not?
is Price defends it so
I know.
beautifully.
It's not as high. That's another one of those, like, if we did, like, a corrections kind of thing, like, it's not as high as I gave it. I think I gave it, like, a 9.5. It's, like, an 8.5.
No!
Jesus.
No, it's none of those scores.
I'm trying to help.
Pathology at least said, right down the tongue, when he cuts it with the scalpel.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking stupid movie. But it knows it's stupid. And they made Melissa Milano topless. GG. But, fucking Foxcatcher. I don't even think we got Channing Tatum's dong in that movie.
No.
In a movie that really feels like it was going to.
Yeah,
They
Mark
should've.
Ruffalo before the Marvel universe, or I guess afterwards. My thing with Pathology, I forgot about the villain was actually like kind of, I hated him. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
bad
No,
guy.
Yeah.
That's a movie
That's
where
a good
like
villain.
every single character in that movie I hated.
Yeah.
And one
They're
of them you
all
were
the villains,
supposed to
they're
really,
all the
really
Yeah, you're
antagonists.
supposed to root for somebody, but I hated everybody.
Yeah.
I am the protagonist as the viewer of this movie, and this movie is the antagonist to my life, making me watch it. It's fucking Foxcatcher. God, I hate that movie. Piece of
Okay.
shit.
Very nice.
You picked Birdemic? I think you already said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was terrible. I'm almost on board with Dylan, where you picked some pretty rough ones.
Impressively
but, like,
bad,
not
really.
nearly on board with him as much. I think that
Like, he-
Birdemic is it. Foxcatcher was not good. I don't know. Tim and Eric, I'm okay with that. That one was fine.
For me, I screen all of my movies beforehand. All of them.
You've not done a blind pick yet?
No, there's been one blind pick, and that
Picks all
is
season have
and
been
that is
blind.
the movie I'm picking as the worst movie I've ever picked, and it is the one that I agree with Nathan that I'm surprised it hasn't gotten brought up, and I picked it because of a stupid theme that you all made me pick. I didn't get a
The
choice.
Great Gatsby.
Nope. The
The
Raging
Raging
Bull.
Raging Bull.
I hated that movie,
That's a good
and I
point,
had to
Bryce.
pick it. You all were like, "Why'd you make us watch this movie?" I was like, "You all made me pick this movie. I hated
It's
the movie
sports.
too."
It's sports.
You said pick a sports movie. I was like, "I don't want to," and you're like, "Well, you're gonna." It's like, okay.
It was the
There you
wheel.
go.
It was
The
a
wheel
weak
told
grip,
you
we
to.
said
We didn't say
sports.
shit.
And that's what we.
And sports is broad. But
That's
some
what you could've
people
picked
went
Remember the
Raging
Titans.
Bull.
You insisted.
Because it was like I don't want to do sports, and I saw Scorsese attached. I was like, okay, let's see if it happens. People say Raging Bull is like
You can be
90s.
mad all you want.
It
If
was
you're gonna be
terrible.
mad about a blind pick for a reason, don't let it be that reason.
It's that
Like,
reason because I didn't want to pick it.
You could have picked
could've
like an
picked anything.
E-game movie. You could have picked Gran Turismo.
Hey, I heard
That
that's
wasn't
actually
out
pretty good.
then.
Yeah, it was.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
no,
Oh,
It
that
was
came out
not.
recently.
It
Very
came out like in the
recently.
past like 3 months. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, it came
I
out
don't know.
this
You could have
summer.
picked literally anything. You could have picked a Pokemon because it's a card game.
I don't agree.
No, that wouldn't count.
Terrible. But
Oh, but
anyway,
you're gonna pick Raging
Well,
Bull.
it's like me
You could-
picking Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Nathan, I'm trying to get you out of this.
Why do we not do categories
Stay
again
in your
anymore?
lane.
I am-
Wait, maybe we should bring that back
I
around.
like
and I was so hyped. I was like, somebody else is gonna pick one. Somebody else is gonna pick an anime.
You know what? The category screwed everything because I
And
picked
they-
Clock Stoppers for Sugar Ray.
And the people outside heard me yelling whenever Nathan picked Alita for that.
Well, okay,
I'm
to
so
be
mad.
fair, Price. If anybody was ever more trying to abuse the category system, it was you.
No, it was not.
We would put things like sports or
Action. I put
action or
yeah.
drama, and you would pick movies with Smash Mouth in it.
Yes, that's what it was.
Intentionally
Yeah,
trying to
because you were
debate.
trying to get somebody to pick Shrek.
Yeah,
You just
you
wanted to
knew
watch Shrek.
you tried to
You
figure
didn't-
out
you
that
didn't
there was
admit
way
it,
to
you
pick
just wanted
Shrek.
to watch
Yeah.
Shrek.
If you just wanted to admit
Yes.
you were gonna pick Shrek, so
But-
don't pretend the
Oh, and you
categories
know
haven't been.
What's awful about that is you could have picked Rat Race.
I know. Yeah.
I teed him
own
I'm telling
Clock
you,
Stoppers.
Rat Race is
Yeah.
gonna
I
be
teed
on
him
that
up.
wheel.
He could have picked it,
Clock
but he
Stoppers
picked
is
Clock
solid.
Stoppers.
Clock Stoppers.
Which is another one we
Nickelodeon.
just forgot about.
I just watched Good
Actually, maybe
Burger
the
a couple
most
days
forgettable
ago.
movie.
Oh,
That
so
yeah,
good.
but then when you talk
No,
about it, I'm like,
it
okay,
jogs my memory
it
really
gets
quickly.
everything going.
Yeah.
Again, Crimson Peak is the right answer, but now we need to do the compliment sandwich, just like they do at work.
Uh-huh.
And now we're doing our favoriteest movies out of 200 movies.
These are most loved movies. or
Most
favorites?
loved. Isn't that the same?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
they
the
were
same
in
thing.
two separate things.
No, we talked about this.
We
recently.
consolidated it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do Nathan's first. Nathan, we love and appreciate you here at the Movie Podcast Company.
Please keep coming back.
Please,
Oh yeah.
please keep trimming the beginnings and ends of our
Wait,
podcast.
so we're picking
You know what?
Masons or
I've got
No, we're
two
doing
for
Nathan's.
everybody.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're
Two
picking
for
Masons.
everybody for
Hey,
me.
you're supposed to pick one.
Compliments all around.
Well,
You know what?
Big time
I'll agree
sense.
with you
You
on.
guys don't
Here, you know what the funniest thing is? And you would have lost this bet. Only one of you three got two movie picks from me, and it's Nathan.
I knew it.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
you know what? We're brothers.
You go
Brothers.
high and you go real low.
Yeah.
You have diversity.
Nathan said, I don't want any of the middle.
Yeah.
I want to be nothing but the highs and lows. I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah.
Okay. Your two winners for me. V for Vendetta
Yeah.
and Blade Runner 2049.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love those movies, man.
Those
They're,
movies slap.
those are top 10 movies for me.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
of those are in there.
Hadn't
now.
you seen both of those before?
V for Vendetta, yes. Blade Runner 2049, I'd watched one time before.
Nah.
One time before. Hey, listen, but who picked them?
You watched both of those movies.
Hey,
though.
listen, Nate, he didn't make the movie, he just picked it.
He could have picked those.
I could have
movies and
picked
he
it.
didn't.
Yeah, but that'd be like you picking Step Brothers and I picking that one. Like, yeah, of course, that's my favorite movie.
Sorry, not my fault you guys didn't pick two of my top 10 movies. And to be
Yeah,
fair,
that's a good point.
I didn't realize...
It's boring
No,
picks,
no, no,
but
no,
I
no,
see
no.
where you're coming from.
No. So, hear me out. V for Vendetta I knew was probably in my top 5 because I rewatched that almost every other year. Now, Blade Runner 2049, I was like, I really liked it, but I was like, a lot of a movie whenever I first watched it. And then it wasn't only on the second rewatch that I realized how much more I liked it. Like, it put me over on the second watch. And that was a movie that I was like, I'm more into this on this one. So, yeah, no, good job, Nathan. You picked some of the best. There you go,
Yeah. Oh, don't you worry. I've got a couple more for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I had reason, for these, but my favorite movie that you picked was The Matrix. Solid movie. I gave it a 9.5, and I stand by it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
it's
you
so
did.
good.
Yeah.
Matrix is great.
My most loved movie from you is Mad Max.
Ah.
Don't ask me what the difference is in those categories. I had a better idea at the time.
Yeah.
But I do think I like just the Mad Max overall. It's a prettier movie. You had your blues and reds. Kind of like Mandy.
Cinematography is
Yeah.
really peaking that movie.
Yeah. And it was a full story. It was an exhausting story.
It wasn't a full script for Tom Hardy. He had 12 lines in that one.
Oh God, did he even speak?
Hey, Martin.
So yeah.
That's bait.
Yeah.
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 Nathan didn't get the highs from me that I wanted, but still, there are two out of the batch at the top that I'll still pick, and I'm going with Dune and the always classic Being John Malkovich.
Oh my
my
God, that movie.
I think that
I
movie.
figured that one,
It's just
yeah.
so interesting. Like,
Why does that movie keep getting
Like,
brought up?
you can't keep getting away with it.
like unlike something like Adaptation, which is super boring and in the
God
same
bless.
universe, or like
Yeah,
something
it's
like
funny because you would say those two movies are quite similar.
They are the same.
They are very similar.
the same.
And then,
I
like,
don't understand.
Past
Yeah.
Lives is super boring, but like Being John Malkovich doesn't make a big statement, but like it's weird. It's just like interesting. It's like it's just weird in a good way. Like not in a weird like esoteric like try to put the pieces together kind of thing. It's just weird in like a fun, easy to understand way, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Nathan, what about you? It's me
My
right, right?
favorite movie.
Yeah.
I haven't considered that at all. Actually.
Hey, that's okay.
Beaver Dead has to be pretty high.
You
It
know,
has to be V.
as something kind of unexpected, I'm gonna go with Space Truckers.
The square
Not-
pigs!
And the
not
reason-
sweepers.
The reason I'm gonna say Space Truckers is because I feel like that is a quintessential Nathan pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Like,
That's
if
your
you were to
duality.
say, like,
It's got
what
timing.
is a movie that is everything that I would want out of a movie?
Yeah.
It is Space Truckers.
Change
And yet you did not give it a 10.
Yeah.
Hey, you know
What I want is not what I even want.
Mhm.
it's got everything I would want in a movie, and that's like, what more can you ask for, right?
Yeah.
So it may not be a perfect movie, but it's got all the goodness.
It's got, you know what? You like cinnamon, you like meat, you like this. And although they don't
I like
go
square
together.
Space pigs.
Yeah, but they are in this chili.
I like Cyborg.
They are in the chili.
Yeah.
That big diner dome thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
that
kept
was
like
fucking
running
cool.
up the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Because it was the Citadel from Halo,
Yeah.
effectively, right?
Yeah, it was.
You know that also the thing about Nathan's movies, I know we keep talking about Nathan's movies in particular, is that his movies like wouldn't be made today. Like if you think about like his movies like are
I kinda-
gone.
I
There's
kinda
a
hate it.
reason
I
why
kinda
I
love it.
only watch movies from the 80s and 90s.
Because that's the only time those movies were going to
That's
be
when
clear.
this
like
happened.
big budget, no franchise, like money on the screen
Well,
kind of movies.
and no offense,
and I
but,
appreciate that. Like
like-
Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That version of his like type of movie is Space Sweepers, and that is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Now, because
That's
that movie
true.
was what,
Yeah,
5
so
years
that-
old.
So that's
Yeah.
part of why I probably picked it blindly, because I was like,
It
you know,
looked like
this might be one
Same
of them.
vibe, yeah.
But no, Turns out I need to stick to my lane.
Yeah. Stick to your trucker lane.
Y2K happened. Nathan went backwards.
I'm not passing that.
Nathan
game.
looked past 2000, said nothing for me there. He's like, oh wait, V for Vendetta's 04 or 05. I see you, buddy.
He turns around, starts walking down the desert road.
Yeah. Whistles Dragula right past 99's Matrix.
That's a puppy on your shirt. That's
Yeah.
cute. Mason, favorite one for Dylan. It's Dylan's turn in the hot seat.
Oh yeah.
You want to stand up for this, Dylan?
Nah, I gotta, if I stand up,
I do too.
It'll all come out.
Yeah. Peeing your
Yeah.
pants is cool, guys.
So very two clear winners here.
Uh-huh.
And again, don't ask me how.
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit was probably my favorite one that he has picked.
You've seen that like
Yes.
20 times.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I picked it.
But also Warrior was my most loved.
Yeah.
What I think I'm getting at with these is movies that I would rather watch over and over, and the most loved is probably going to be that.
Mm.
So yours would have been Mad Max.
That makes sense.
For
Yeah.
you, it would have been Warrior. I've seen that movie like at least 5 or 6 times.
It never
Like,
gets. It's never
and
a bad
it's
watch.
yeah, and it's
Because
solid.
it's never back down to Jason.
It's yeah, it's Junior.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Junior. Junior.
Junior. No, but it's definitely JoJo's solid. Overall, that probably got a better score from me, but I think that Warrior is. It's such a full-on drama with the sports category. See what I'm talking about, Bryce? It's like
Nope.
it's
That's how
this much sports.
I
in it.
understand nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's true.
Anyway,
Oh,
it's
we agree.
Warrior. Up top, buddy.
Yeah.
For me, at number 2 is definitely Kung Pao.
Ha.
I don't know why he did not pick this for me.
Totally out of
It
my
is so up my
bag.
alley, just stupid, dumb, stupid humor.
But
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's still not a super high score, but still.
What did you give it?
Really good. I don't remember.
Probably like a 6.
No, I probably got like a 7 or
A
7.5.
But you just said it was perfect, so can we go back and give it a 10?
Yeah.
No,
I heard it.
it's good in that way, but there's not much more to chew on there. But number 1 is going to be one that Nathan's going to say as well, because him and I have been tag teaming this to, what did we push Snatch to? Was like semifinals of the first bracket or something.
Yeah.
Nathan and I were just
That was
pushing that.
whenever we did that bracket, like that was my horse. That
Snatch
I
was the
backing.
dark
and I was
horse.
with you, and I was with
Yeah.
Nathan. Him and I all the way were riding that one to the bank, and I can tirade against bad movies, and I can tirade about this movie because I love this movie. The more I watch it, the like showing it to like Kelly or other friends, like the more I get out of it. It's even though it's like a simple movie at baseline, it's still so fun to watch every time. Every like I said, it's one of the Testaments of Marriage, so where every time you watch it, you get something different. Snatch is the same way, except you get something new from a different character. Because our tendency as moviegoers is to really kind of focus on one character, and Snatch is really trying to pull you away from that and have you view each character. Like Jason Statham is the main character, but everybody gets equal screen time, even though he's the biggest name on screen.
Right.
And everybody has a super interesting storyline that's funny, that's engaging, and it also is dramatic in a way. I mean, they're going to be fed to pigs and killed,
There's
stuff like
stakes,
that.
and it actually feels.
And the stakes feel real.
Also-
It doesn't feel like goofy, out of nowhere kind of stakes. Like it feels like this world is real, and the world is constraining to that in a way. You have the Boris getting killed kind of thing. Like they do push the bounds a little bit, but at the same
the
time,
dog and the
and the dog eating the
eating
diamond
the
and
diamond.
stuff. It's still
Brad Pitt, this whole movie.
It's still so much fun to
Oh.
watch, and Brad Pitt puts on such an amazing performance where it even has just a Brad Pitt Cockney accent subtitle. where it's just for
Unironically,
him.
it's a top 3 Brad Pitt performance for me. Like
It's probably number 1 for me. I don't know what else is close to him.
Fight Club is pretty fucking good.
He's playing like a bit more smart ass Brad Pitt in that
Yeah,
movie though.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
him acting like something else, which I love.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun movie. It's dramatic. It's got action in it. It's super super funny and engaging the whole time. So
I guess you would say it's a buffet of
definitely
flavor.
Snatch.
It's a buffet you want to be at.
Yeah.
It's a step up from Golden Corral buffet to maybe like Orion.
No, this is like 97 KFC buffet.
They
Oh,
have those.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it was
KFC's
sick,
not
I've
bad.
never been to one.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was
KFC
great.
buffet was,
up until, like, 10 years ago,
They had
there were
everything.
buffets.
Dude, they had
Their
everything
whole
there.
menu was there.
I never really went to KFC though.
I didn't either.
Mom made better fried chicken.
It was
than anybody
expensive,
else.
but every now and then we'd go, and then we always went for the buffet, and you got to clear out those mashed potatoes and gravy. And they had all the every chicken part, had like its own little thing.
Yeah.
So I just want to eat the legs. I
The
just
only
like the
time
legs.
I've been to KFC was like 5 or 6 years ago, and Mom ordered chicken liver, and I'm like, I am never going there again.
Kelly Bell Sr.
Come on.
Make better decisions.
Come on.
Come on.
Nathan?
Okay.
For your little buddy.
Snatch, obviously,
It's great.
really great choice. Whenever I pick this category, I picked mostly in the thought of like it also being a movie that I wouldn't have necessarily gone out of my way to see or thought to see.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So to that end, I'm gonna go with Annihilation.
Yeah. I fucking love that.
Man, what a good movie!
What a great.
Like
That's
if
for
if
you.
there were a
Yeah.
movie I don't know. I mean, I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
I could almost
Push it up to
maybe see
9.5.
going like 9.5. It's
You heard
it's
it.
really good.
That could be a movie with a sequel.
Oh God, yeah. Give me a sequel.
Yeah.
I think that
well,
would be really
and
good.
it does.
They've got book series.
I don't know. I really like that kind of horror, like the change, like you changing sort of thing.
Goes back to the Things kind of style of body
Yeah,
horror, right? Yeah.
So yeah, just a great film all around.
Yeah. God, I pick a lot of good ones.
You really get hyped up after hearing
Yeah.
5 or 6 movies.
Hey, listen, there was different options across the board.
That's true.
Listen, this one's hard because I've picked all my favorite movies on this one. I don't want to. It's Sophie's choice at this point, right? I'm saying like Jurassic Park, Inception, Jojo Rabbit, V for Vendetta. These are all my like top 5 films on that one. So, but if I have to pick, I default always to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is my tread into street horror. That feels like it's the first movie I ever loved and watched, and I keep looking at it and keep being so just thankful that it's aging so beautifully. Like, I don't know, it's how I hope to look at my wife in like 20 years and just be able to look at her and be like, you know what, you're still as beautiful as the day I saw you. You know, it's the same idea.
Yeah,
And
that's very sweet.
yeah, 10 years apart, I feel that way about her now. But I'm at 30 years with Jurassic Park, so
So she's got some catching up.
sorry,
to do.
Hannah.
Yeah.
TikTok. Spielberg. He wrote my name onto a dinosaur movie, and I said, "Baby, you had me for sense." So.
That theme song, buddy.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, Nashville Symphony Orchestra got the
Yeah, the dun 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 dun.
That's the one.
Listen, when you cook up a good bar, and you said, "What if I just sped it up a little bit more?"
Yeah, that's Pirates.
Yeah, I know it is. I know. Pirates is a banger too, though. Anyways,
I am glad I'm getting to cue off Mason's segment for this one for his
Cutie,
great movies
cutie.
because
all right, Europe.
I was just tearing him apart just a second ago, and believe me, I'm the first one there for tearing Mason down. I'm
Yeah.
the first one to kick him in the shin, put him on the ground, kick him in the teeth a little bit.
Yes.
But man, he has picked some great movies in my opinion.
Mm.
And I'll start off with one that to me now is probably like a 9. Possibly, yeah, probably a 9's a good solid place for it. And that is Fantastic Mr. Fox. That one came out of nowhere for me because, first of all, it's Wes Anderson. So I'm already on the ground, like, not caring at all. And that's where I was. And I knew Mason had been gassing this one up for a while, that it's, like, one of his favorites. And then I watched it. It was like, okay, like, maybe I get Wes Anderson. Like, maybe, like, I kind of get it now. And then we watched Moonrise Kingdom, stuff like that. Like, oh, yeah, no, I just like Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
This is one exception.
You don't need humans on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, only if they're in
Only
if they're in puppet form or.
You're so on it.
But
Crazy.
that movie's so fun. Like I love how the comedy is just so quick. Like it's super quick. I love how quick it is.
Yeah.
Like the scene between Christopherson and then the son
Ash.
when they're going to bed.
Yeah.
He's like, I better not hear a word out of you under there. And he's just like, put him under the table. What does he say?
He says there's a lot of attitudes in this house.
Don't let me get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the animation's so charming, and normally I don't like stop motion kind of stuff. Like Kelly's tried showing me a bunch of it. For some reason, I never vibe with it, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is the exception. Normally, like all-star voice acting is not what really gets me, but they all put on a really good performance for this. You don't really hear them as their actor self. They put on a good character for this movie, and then I can only do half a tirade because we picked 2. And number 1 is going to, of course, you guessed it. Yeah, Quiplash.
Quiplash.
It's definitely Whiplash. This had been on my radar for so long, but I just never watched it. Never anything. Jackson says says we did watch it.
I think you would have remembered it.
I think I would have remembered it because
Yeah.
I've watched it like 6 times at this point, and it's absolutely incredible. I watched just the other day the short that kind of inspired this, where J.K. Simmons plays himself, but the boyfriend guy from Jennifer's Body plays Miles Teller.
Yeah, you said that he was that part.
And he just was nothing. Like, and I'm so glad like I saw what could have been, because what we got was so much better.
Mm-hmm.
As much as Dylan hates him, Miles Teller put on a really good performance.
He's
here.
great in this role. I think he does a good performance, and he's great as a character who you kind of want to hate.
And he's also
So-
jaded the whole time.
But that's perfect, because
it's
you
a
do
great
kind of want to
casting.
hate him.
It's a great casting. Like,
Because you
I'm
do
not
kind of want to
disagreeing
hate him,
with
because
that,
if you had somebody
he's
like
kind of a shit.
because if you had an extremely charming person in the role, like
No.
maybe JGL or something like that,
It breaks the chemistry of like what the movie's
it
going
breaks the
for.
chemistry, because you're like, I don't see JGL as like this, like, put everybody to the curb, I'm going for what I want kind of person.
Yeah.
Miles Teller, you kind of see like that he would just put everybody off and turn away this beautiful girlfriend that's way out of his league.
Oh my
And,
god.
and he's just like, yeah, you be in the way, and just tells her flat out. And J.K. Simmons just puts on possibly the best performance I've seen in a movie, and I'm saying that in a flat statement. I think he is phenomenal in this.
I don't
role.
know if he trained himself to pop that vein out of his neck and forehead the entire time, or if he was just that like strung out. But
Do you think he
He
always
did
got
it
a
pretty
pump
well.
on right before those sets?
He had
I
to.
don't
Those
know.
like the shirt, like with his
Yeah.
biceps pulsing out of
you
it.
could see the veins through his shirt.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
He
like
was-
all the way up here.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible specimen, and it's possibly like my favorite movie now. Like, that's how much I love this movie. Like,
It
I
is
could watch
solid.
it anytime and love this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. The thing about Fantastic Mr. Fox too is like it's kind of got that appearance on screen. I hate to even suggest that it's like this, but like a Wallace and Gromit kind of like that weird.
you throwing shade on Wallace and
Well,
Gromit?
hold on.
It's
now.
okay.
Come on.
It's alright.
I'm saying that it's interesting in the same way where you're like, wow, I got it. Huh. Okay, that's different. And you're just watching it. I'd say the same for Wolfwalkers, different animation styles, stuff like that. So that's what I was gonna say earlier.
I'm gonna
How
go
long's
something
the red dot been off?
Probably.
Just
It's
kidding.
on. Oh, dude, I looked about 10 minutes ago.
I've been checking.
I've been
Yeah.
looking too.
Yeah. yeah.
The mic is on, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what, Nathan? Just to be sure, can you?
Shut up.
You didn't have me. I was
Yeah.
just like giving you that look because I was like, I'm ready.
This
You're
would
ready.
100% be the video.
That
right?
door would have been caved outward.
Yeah.
That's trampling. him.
Yeah. Sorry, Nathan. Your
Yeah.
pick for best
Uh-huh.
or favorite.
I
Mason
got
movie.
Honestly, it's very obvious. I think.
How many fantastic movies has Nathan
right,
picked on this
right.
one, huh?
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah,
I see what
so
you did there.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be Captain Fantastic.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Again, like I said, my picks are mostly things where I was just thinking like, I really like this, and it wasn't even on my radar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that fits in perfectly. It's the kind of movie that, in retrospect, it's like, yeah, that would be the sort of movie I would have picked for us to watch
Mhm.
too.
I agree with that. Kind of like an off the land or living off the land family that
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you have
Just
another
a
one to
very
mention?
quirky, unusual sort of thing.
Yeah.
No,
That's okay.
I'd only
That's a lot.
pick because I didn't do like both
That's
of
fine.
those
Yeah.
whenever they
Yeah.
got combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only had one. There is only one.
Oh.
It's Never Back Down.
Up top.
That is such a guilty pleasure
Oh my
movie.
God.
Okay.
Best way to describe it. Yeah.
Now it is an entirely guilty pleasure movie, but it is such a fun again. I bought this movie and I have it played in the background of my parties. Stay tuned for New Year's Eve, where it is just one of those movies where I'm tuned into and I'm like, this is so fucking dumb.
Yeah,
Just
I'm not looking away though.
I cannot. I really haven't. That is Mason's movie of all the movies he's had, and especially this year. I've seen that movie probably about 3 or 4 times this year, and I think this was. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mason. This might be one of the first movies we bonded over. I think this is how we started talking movies.
Yes, I'm sure we talked about
somehow
this movie very
you brought
early.
Never Back Down, and I was like, that movie's actually kind of gas, bro. And you were
Yeah.
like, brother, let me tell you.
My dog's name
Yeah.
is Baja.
Yeah, and it took me years after to rewatch it where I was like, Baja, fucking Mason,
Son of
you
a
son
bitch.
of a bitch.
We put that together
Yeah,
together.
at the same
I
time,
remember.
and I was like, this fucking guy. Oh my god.
Signal blew up that day.
Yeah. Oh my god. But you know what? I love that. I thoroughly enjoy this movie for how bad it is, and I thoroughly love how much you love this movie.
For not how bad
that's
it
a
is, but for
funnier
how good it
part.
is.
Yeah.
I agree, Dylan.
You will say
'Cause I was ready.
No argument.
Yeah.
And you're like,
that's what he said in his 10th speech.
I
He was
will-
like, I just like it. Like, do you
I
want to
just-
explain?
no.
Nope.
And I get it. You know what? Because I'm not at a 10 at it, but if you ask me, okay, Dylan, is this a good movie? And I'm like, and they're like, okay, but what are your thoughts on it? I'm like, I just like it. I would not like any questions about the topic.
Yeah, no
please.
comment from here on.
Yeah, there will be no further comments. Thank you. It's never back down.
Yeah.
Amber Heard pooped the bed.
Yeah, I definitely like this movie quite a bit more before the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp fiasco.
I argue it makes more sense whenever we're
Um,
seeing her hit him all the time.
Yeah, well, I think
You love
she's
that,
an absolute
yeah.
treat in this movie. I mean,
Yeah,
this
she-
might
oh,
have been
she's
peak.
beautiful.
Yeah, for her.
She's
but-
got some little whale tail at one scene too, and that really
Yeah.
just hits my Degrassi
What the
vibes
heck
on
is
it.
whale tail?
It's whenever you're thong or underwear,
Yeah.
typically underwear, but it's mostly thong or
It-
G-strings showing just
I was
over the
gonna
pants.
say,
I'm
was-
not a thong guy at all.
Oh, more for
In
me.
any way, shape, or form.
More for
Wow.
me.
You
Yeah,
like
more for
thongs?
Dylan.
Yeah.
Are you all thong guys?
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Me
I can
either.
see you being no underwear.
Alright.
Which is
It's just like a walrus flossing.
Yeah.
It's like, nah.
yeah.
Okay.
You mean for yourself? Like,
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
no,
doing
these
there,
two are
right?
pro thongs for themselves.
You hear me snapping over here.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely Never Back Down.
Yeah.
Oh, come
I mean,
on. I had
I
some
can't-
respect for you, Mason.
Like, that's the thing. If I wanted to pick some other stuff, I would throw in maybe Blackberry or Social Network. Those are all
I
fantastic. They're
forgot about
wonderful.
Blackberry.
Barry's great.
Blackberry
Gave
is great.
that. No, you gave that
Black-
a 10.
Blackberry is seriously one of my favorite new movies.
That's his chili right there.
yeah.
That is his
A
chili.
movie made up of Mason.
Very
and Tyler.
outdated, not good chili.
Yeah.
Put an 80s, or not an 80s, but like a 90s tint on it. you know,
Yeah.
early 2000s tint on it. Oh. Anyways, Never Back Down is a guilty pleasure. Dylan said it best. Like Price said, he can remember where his butt was in that theater. Same. It's
Yeah.
sad, but I just liked it, and I've never really had too terribly many issues with it. I think that it's fun. It's got that soundtrack that Price said, yeah, you're pretty familiar with it beforehand.
You are.
But guess what? They had some money to spend on some songs.
Yeah. They didn't use it on the actors at the time.
I was gonna say, like, Sean Taylor is Jake Tyler. He's only in like 3 things. Same thing with the Cam Gigante or whatever his name
Yeah.
is. He's in Easy A. He was
Yeah.
the Christian dude.
Chiwetel Ejiofor at least is in a couple movies.
Oh yeah, John Roca.
Yeah, he's
I
always
was
he's
gonna
always
say
killing it too.
Yeah, and you obviously have Amber Heard. But,
Yeah, Amber Heard. What movie was she in?
Mhm.
Aquaman's honestly the only one I know of.
Savages.
Savages.
Savages? I don't know.
Savages. She's in that one. She's in a few.
Yeah. she
But
was.
I don't know. I've always liked it. So moving on. No
Yeah.
comment.
No
Again, he talks in circles, does a politician thing, and then at the end to get his conclusions. Like,
Dude,
I
it's
just like it.
so good. It's bite-sized MMA
Yeah.
with some high school interaction. That's and
There we
at
go.
the time,
And it has power levels.
That's what I want. There's something there.
and
Yeah.
at the
There's
time I loved it. I think I was a junior, maybe a sophomore in high school. So of course I wasn't even through high school yet. This
Yeah.
is supposed to be like, oh wow, I'd love to go to school in Florida. They kick each other's asses and they fucking
Yeah.
have guest houses.
and girls
I guess.
make out in a
Yeah,
hot
and
tub.
girls fucking make out. There's
Also,
fight
Mason,
clubs everywhere.
Maybe one of the least actually aggressive
No,
people I've
I'm
ever
not
seen.
in any of that. Are
I've
you
literally
kidding me?
seen you almost get into a fight, and you
Now
once
back
you,
down.
Yeah, and you back down. Mason's movie was always back down.
So I just wanted to live vicariously through this movie, I guess. There's your answer. I
That's
guess.
your fantasy.
That's one experience I will never get in my life. I'm
You
so,
wish you could have been there.
I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so jealous
I
of
remember
that.
it like it was yesterday.
Get some drinks in Mason. He might get you into one.
Oh no, I've seen him angry,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen like somebody trying to fight him. That's different.
Oh, it was awesome.
I feel like that would have been a different story too. Like there's no telling,
Oh,
like who would have piled onto who. It was.
he does not make it out. He does not
No.
clear.
No,
I don't
he
know.
doesn't.
He doesn't. Listen,
This
he
is
didn't have the dog in him.
My
He did
boy
have
Matt would have.
One, he did have 116.
Yeah, that's true.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
We're talking about whose dad will beat up whose dad.
All right.
Well, my dad's not clearing.
So we're on Price now.
Yes.
I did not-
We're on to
what-
Price now, right?
Mhm.
Dang, I enjoyed the last one more.
Yeah, you want to lead the way, Nathan?
Well, mine's an easy, an obvious. It's Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gave that movie a 10.
Yeah, you did.
They did.
Give him
It
a 10.
deserves it.
I did too. The
Yeah,
only movie to
Deserves
get
all
2
the
tens.
praise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Price, remind me, did you pick your name?
No, that was Mason.
Because Mason has your name.
Everybody
picked.
thinks like your name was mine.
I know, it feels really strange that it's not. And I wanted to be sure, because as I was reading through it, I'm like, I feel like I've asked this several times, but it always feels weird. I'm like, okay. And I'm looking through, and I'm like, God, there's so many bad movies, Price.
Anyway, before we get to Dylan's pick, I want to hear more about Puss in Boots 2.
Oh, yeah, you want to keep going?
I don't know, man.
I just really like it.
I like it.
I was going to say, it felt like he was done. Yeah.
Xbox does everything really well. It's great
Yeah.
animation, good storytelling. It's got a lot of good highs and lows, emotional beats, comedy, serious moments. I mean,
You're awful!
Your favorite
I
character.
I love Jiminy in
I
that
still
movie.
stand behind like the worst part of that movie. Not to keep on for too long, but like when he was in like the cat house.
Yeah, the first
I
20
didn't like
minutes
that.
of the movie are like wildly harder.
I think the cat house goes on maybe like a minute too long.
No, it goes on.
It's
the
like
entire
5 minutes.
time.
I mean, it's maybe a smidge long, but
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah,
I
exactly. It
agree.
wasn't too long.
Yeah, it
was
moves.
just-
I see your point, but it doesn't negate my 10 in all honesty, because like I think like it sets up what the movie's going to be, and it helps Puss get his feet back, but I do still see what you're saying.
So, I'm a little
So
bit-
anyway, Price has so many terrible.
Yeah, but Price has so many bad ones. Let's honorably mention all the movies that didn't make the list. No, I'm mad that Price picked this one because this was one I meant to pick, but it gave me a reason to watch it sooner rather than later. So my favorite of Price's picks is a fairly recent one. It's Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That's my movie.
Yeah. Well, you had nothing to do with it. You did nothing. None of the success, right?
So that means I showed you the movie.
I
have good taste. I
watched
was
it
like, I have
before.
good taste, so therefore you experience my taste, Dylan.
My palate.
No, I've gotten your taste, and we listed it in the most disliked comment.
Yes.
Now, every now and again, we'll agree on what's an obviously fantastic film with it. Everything Everywhere All at Once is.
That's one we haven't talked about that we all unanimously like.
Yeah.
And Parasite is another one.
Yeah, Parasite in there as well.
Train to Busan
Sure.
also
Yeah.
hasn't received any attention.
Let's not get crazy.
Hateful Eight was another one. We can do this. We can do this after. Sorry.
Yeah, they're all around the same. Those are the same tier of like okay-ish. But now Everything Everywhere All at Once is absolutely fantastic. It's a movie that is completely ridiculous in its storytelling, and it's telling a very simple story in an incredibly complex but fascinating and well executed way, and it's just a beautiful story. It makes me cry every time I watch it, maybe a couple times, probably at least. It's a hard watch, but it's a fantastic watch.
The montage with her husband is like, if we have best montages, like that one with her husband.
It's at least a couple in that movie, because even going through with the daughter.
I still think the best montage still goes with the husband, because it's the point where she's like at her lowest, and he's like, in every timeline, I am here with you. And it shows like him always being there the whole time.
Yeah. But that's because,
So good.
but also Ke Huy Quan is also a fucking gem.
Oh my god.
What an amazing man.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Oh, you never want to break that man's heart. I just wanted to put googly eyes on everything. Fuck me.
Oh,
Alright, yeah, the movie's fucking great.
so good.
Yeah, I really wish Swiss Army Man was even remotely as good as that movie.
Do either of you have two?
Nope, that's it.
I have to.
Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you worry, buddy. The problem is, one of them is Everything Everywhere All at Once as my original favorite pick, because I don't like to watch that movie multiple times.
It's a hard watch.
Once every few years is probably great.
It's kind of fat too.
Oh, it's so like it is exponential as far as like everything that they're throwing at you.
It is
indulgent.
indulgent.
So
It's
big,
It's indulgent.
and it's fun.
Like a Tarantino kind of thing.
Yeah,
If you're in it, you're really in it.
Fat, like, I go back to the idea of fat being like things that I would want to cut. And I'm
But
like,
at least this is not so Tarantino, where it's like at least they're throwing confetti at you and donuts and wobbly
Yeah.
fingers and
Yeah.
all kinds of
It's
crap.
taking the piss and you're having the fun with it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. But so that's probably like the favorite movie that he's
Sure.
picked of mine. But number one is definitely going to be the most loved is Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
I think that that's a rewatchable movie most of the time. It's another kind of a long, harder watch, pretty frequently. But that I've only ever seen the movie one time, and I thought that it was very good. I think, and it won that bracket that one time too.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the first movie bracket.
So yeah, well deserved. I think that Tarantino, right?
Yeah.
Did that one. I think it might be one of like the lesser Tarantino type movies in a weird way, just because at least it had like a fun plot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like Kill Bill and the ones that we've done here. Hateful Eight wasn't nearly as fun.
No.
Kill Bill to me wasn't nearly as fun.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well,
was
and it's
pretty
impressive
boring.
what he could do with trying to recreate historical events, right?
And thinking that it was real. The first
almost forgot about that.
I can't believe
I watched it at his house.
Yeah, you watched it at my house.
Yeah.
For those wondering at home, Mason, can you remind our viewers?
So Price had picked Inglourious Basterds, and I'm sitting here thinking that it's the same as like The Monuments Men, that it's the same as
Valkyrie.
Yeah, Valkyrie.
It's a historical, accurately
Fury,
retelling.
Some of these like old-timey war movies, and I'm sitting here, I'm watching it, dude. I swear to God, I'm 45 minutes in, and I'm like, it's got to be a true story. I'm not gonna look like an idiot. And after the 45-minute mark, I'm just letting that go, and I'm like, all right, at about an hour 10 minutes, I look over at Price, and I'm like, so is this real? Like this is supposed to be a true story, correct?
Then
And
Hitler
Hitler
got his face shot off.
Oh my God, dude.
And Mason still wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
It's like, is that how he died?
You got John Wilkes Booth
Yeah.
but like 30,000 times up in the
Shout out to Joel.
level. But yeah, it's Inglourious Basterds. That probably weighs on me a little bit, just the fact that I thought it was real for a moment.
I love
don't know.
that. I love it so much. I love it so much.
I'm gonna watch it again at some point.
I can't wait until what. Put it on the History Channel.
It already is.
They
Yeah,
probably
in my
could
mind.
now. How the History
yeah,
Channel
yeah.
is.
Historically chat. Yeah, the way that channel's gone. Goodness.
I've picked all of my favorite movies for the podcast. I have a lot of 10s, those being Parasite, Tim and Eric, Step Brothers, and Billy Madison. And Puss in Boots 2. So those are, I think, all my 10s right there. So there's 5 of them. And Whiplash, I gave a 10. So at the top of that heap, that I would say is my most favorite. Right now, if you had to ask me with a gun to the head which one of those 10s is my favorite, probably Puss in Boots 2, because it's just top of my head, so fresh.
That's the most recent, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I quote Billy Madison and Step Brothers and Tim and Eric daily,
Literally.
it's still Puss in Boots 2 is so fresh. It's still so on my mind. In 10 years, come back to me. Probably something else, because I've been watching Billy Madison since I was 5. And still laughing as much. And Step Brothers since it came out whenever it was. So probably Puss in Boots 2 since it's so fresh. But personally, my all-time favorite movie, honestly, right now is Whiplash. Mm-hmm. I am red hot on that still.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Is that actually just the best movie ever?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay.
That's an objective. If you're saying best movie ever, I feel that's an objective.
That means you have to take yourself
thing.
out of it and think, what is everybody?
And I'm thinking just of me.
Yeah.
And I Whiplash is mine. Best movie ever. I don't even know what that would be.
Jurassic Park.
It's up there.
Schindler.
I mean, honestly, Schindler probably. I don't know. That movie's a really hard watch for a lot of folks.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Some people are gonna be like.
It's also about 2:45 or so.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's a
we've
long
watched
movie.
another one of those movies that people would say is potentially best movie, Casablanca.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one of my picks. Yeah. Frankly, I don't hate them for that opinion.
I don't hate it, but it's not best. I don't think.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Like,
that
it's-
movie's so
it's-
fucking sharp.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good, but not best. I don't think so.
The fact that it's still good now says a lot about how good
Well,
that movie
yeah.
is. Yeah.
As final wrap up kind of thing on this, super long as you saw on the time step at the beginning kind of thing. Any last conclusion, last thoughts, any trends you saw, anything you don't want to see in the future? Not too nitty gritty where it's something when you talk off air, if we're going to change our name, but
we've,
trends, wheel, stuff like that.
So we've each basically picked 50 movies.
Yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly.
Really, that's not a lot of movies.
You
No,
really
honestly.
think so, right?
Do you feel like you still do you have
Gas
the
in the tank.
ammunition
Yeah.
to keep on?
Oh,
going?
we're making it to 500.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can
So-
we hit another milestone?
Especially for me, I think I can keep finding movies, and especially since we added the third, we can take a third slice for TV.
Oh, for TV. So that opens
And
your
as
door.
long, I think we should keep it at that just for the one, just to keep it a little bit different.
Mhm.
I definitely think I can. I don't know about you all.
I feel like I've sort of ran out maybe a couple seasons ago as far as big bangers.
I did those a long time ago.
Well,
Yeah.
so but then luckily I kind of got away with The Green Room, Blackberry. Some of these movies started to like sort of come up through the surface.
And those
a
were
little
so
bit.
good. Like Green Room was really
There was
good.
another one that I think most of us liked anyways. But like now, I have like this ongoing list of shit that I remembered watching in the past like 10 years, and I'm like, I gotta rewatch that before I put it on the list.
Oh, no, you don't.
I know, that's what Frontiers was.
Yeah, you're like, that
So-
one I remember thinking being kind of good, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
solid, right?
Unanimous worst movie.
Yeah.
That actually, no, I think that may have topped Birdemic.
It was. No,
It
it was
was
the worst
worse.
thing.
Yeah.
It was worse.
Yeah, it's our worst
It was
movie so
bad.
far.
Yeah, I got a lot of movies still.
Yeah.
See, so there we
Really?
go. We're
They-
in
I got
good shape.
I got loads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
I could go on for a long time.
Man, I need
Nathan's
to...
got loads, he can go on for a long time. Quote it here for
His
that.
Bumble
Yeah.
account
Yeah.
just
Is that
started
yours?
booming.
Yeah.
A list of movies you have?
Yeah, always still going.
Nice.
Man, I need to work
Yeah.
on mine.
I can't wait.
Mine's about
Yeah.
about that big, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not true. I've seen it.
Here's the thing.
I love how there's dead
Like,
silence.
got the dog.
Got him.
I can be here for a long time, but not necessarily
For a
A
good
good
time.
time.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
More innuendos. Go.
All right.
I didn't get
Go.
that one. I don't have one.
So
Aw.
looking forward, right? So as we wrap up this season, because there's still some meat on this season. Don't worry, but we took a quick intermission for 200 to recognize the feat of it in itself. No, this season was 2 blind picks, one that I've been wanting to do for a while, and we're back to back on my blind picks. Now that I've watched both of them, sneak peek.
Ouch.
Not the best.
I haven't
Stephen
watched
Ewan?
it yet.
I won't say what I think about it, but I will say I don't think it's gonna land very great.
Have you seen it? You said you did watch
I've
it?
seen it.
He did
Okay.
watch
I watched
Just
it,
making sure.
and I don't know how it's gonna land for everybody else
What
here.
What are you saying? Are you saying blind picks?
I think
It seems
what
like
I've-
blind picks aren't really going.
my
If
trend.
you don't
What
remember,
I've noticed on my trend is all of my worst picks are blind picks.
And you've had one for one.
It was Brokeback.
I was one
it
for one on
was
Raging
that.
Bull.
It was like Raging Bull. I think it is funny how hilariously bad our blind picks have been relevant.
I don't think I've had a
but the thing is, like our blind.
Other
pick-
than Nathan just picks bad ones.
I was
He
gonna say like our
absolutely
blind picks are like
No,
maybe
I mean,
it's good,
Space Sweeper was a blind pick.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah.
Most
All right.
everything else has been not necessarily.
but Nathan's like
blind pick.
bad movies. He's like, I know it's bad. It'll be a fun conversation.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
The blind picks that we're talking about are just like we don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
My least favorite movies
It's
for me have
icky.
been my blind
Yeah.
picks so far. So
I easily for
it's
me.
Brokeback and then Past Lives, and then I'm not gonna say anything about Minari just yet.
Easy-
But
my least favorite ones I've picked are ones that have been out of my control when
Yeah.
it comes to categories, themes.
well, okay. Well, let's not talk
Anything
about
like
Raging
that.
Bull here.
If anything, this makes me want to push themes more.
You know what? So here's
Self-acceptance.
Here's a
ladies and
theme I
gentlemen.
would genuinely that I would genuinely pitch that the girls that actually pitched us before.
Yeah.
That I started thinking about it and I was looking through my movies and I was like, son of a bitch, I would have at least several on this wheel for this. PG and under.
Okay.
I actually
That's
like.
his strength.
I know. If anybody's gonna love
Yeah.
that category, it's
Yeah.
Price Baby Bell over here. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Like,
But
and I'm not
also,
saying
I
that's
wouldn't
like
want
the
a whole
season for it.
14 episodes.
No,
of it, though.
not 14 episodes definitely, but at least
I need blood. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
me.
Bro-
That's me, bro.
Hey, listen, man. Some of the movies I've watched, even in the PG ones,
Yeah, you can
get away with a lot. Yeah.
You go back into like the early days of
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
You'll
Yeah,
find some
I think
that's
some
just
of the
like,
stuff
this
is
should not
implied.
have
Talking about
received
Fritz the
this
Cat, the
rating.
G-rated movie. No,
Fritz the cat.
definitely was not G.
that was
Fritz the
X-rated
Cat
movie.
wasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
That's another big one.
Yeah.
That's
God, I hated that movie.
That
I remember
movie's-
I watched that at my parents'
Oh,
house.
you know that was a blind pick.
See,
And
that's-
you didn't
watched
even
it
like
at your
it, right?
parents' house?
So,
Oh no!
Because that's the time when Kelly and I were homeless. So we were living with my parents at the time,
So-
and we watched
Yeah.
it there.
so I'm gonna
She
chime
watched it
into
with
that
me.
too because
Yeah, Kelly
Whenever-
watched it with me.
whenever I was living at my dad's place a few months ago, I had to watch Kung Pao. All these three were getting a big kick out of it. I'm
Yeah.
sure when they were watching it. I was meanwhile home by myself, waiting for the lights to come up the driveway, hoping they wouldn't get home.
You're trying to fast forward this movie.
Yeah, I
real
was
quick,
like, man, I hope this movie
why is
ends
this
quick.
movie the one?
I know, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
not embarrassing.
It wasn't an embarrassing thing. I was like, God, I just
Is
don't
this
want
a
to be the
movie
guy
that-
watching this movie when they come
You
in.
don't want to have to talk to your dad about this movie.
If my
right?
parents came upstairs and saw me watching naked animal
Cat.
creatures on the screen,
That's a better
They're like-
point.
that's a worse conversation.
That's a better point, yeah.
I don't know. Kelly Bell
Oh,
Senior. She
way
just
worse.
I thought we were past this. Yeah,
Oh, honey.
It's
Kelly,
like,
you're okay with
look
this?
at what that anime has done to you.
Yeah. Kelly, not you two. That's what I hear. That's how I hear the conversation going with it.
Robert, we got to call off the wedding.
Yeah, call it off. Yeah, he's back on that
Any-
tune again.
Any last big thoughts, what you thought, big big picture stuff. You hate anime now.
No, maybe it's the I hate
Anime's
Promare still.
always been mid at best.
No, I
Low
won't
mid.
say the whole genre is mid. No, I love too much anime to say that. But no, I'll say. You know what? Here's what I'll say.
What do you say?
It's gonna be a little corny, but bear with me. We're just past Thanksgiving.
Oh no!
So I'm.
God, he just did it with his wife, and now he's doing it with us.
You know what? I am incredibly thankful that we've made it to 200 reviews. I think that is a feat in itself.
And we're all over 30
And
now.
we're all over 30. We started
That's
this
true.
when we were
about 20.
Yeah, I was in my late 20s. Yeah, it would have been.
I would have
29.
been 24 or
You would
5.
have been 24 or something when we started this.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in MBA school at that point.
I was still in my 20s.
That's a great point. That is pretty amazing. We've done
So-
it. We've got that many episodes and gotten together that many times.
I'm thankful that we have continued to let this train run. It is an impressive feat, and for for a group of people who I see on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
and I don't want to murder you guys every time. A feat in itself.
That's true.
I know, and it feels weird when there's like a week.
Yeah, there's a week off, and I'm
like, shouldn't I be watching a movie
Yeah,
or
I'm like,
something?
I
at
That
some
was me
point?
this week. I still haven't watched Minari yet.
I am an artist as well. Yeah.
And it's extra weird knowing that I'm meeting you with you guys, not having to see that movie first.
Yeah.
That was a
this
weird
week,
thing.
but there was a piece of mind to it where I was like, oh man, I was really wanting that 2-hour hangout slice to come up on that one
Yeah.
because I'm like having to just go over and be like, I didn't have to do any homework this week.
yeah.
You know, like, and it's not that it's always work, but it's always just creating a little bit of extra time to say like, I've got to sit down and watch a movie. And although I love watching movies, I'm not saying this is work, but this is the one where it's like I need to,
Yeah.
and it does
Yeah.
put a little
Bring
bit
up some
edge on it.
talking points.
Well,
Yeah.
it makes it feel like homework.
A little bit, a
The,
smidge.
the only time it felt like homework for me is when I was visibly like not happy on air and stuff when we went through that huge phase of the wheel with the categories and we just kept picking, in my opinion, like 3s and below.
You probably have about 2 seasons of unhappy.
At
though.
that
Like-
point, like it was a lot for me. Like I was
Yeah.
not having a good time, and it may have been evident on there because like I was quiet. Like I don't know. I just wasn't passionate about it.
Yeah.
Just because like it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
I
in
can
my
think
opinion.
of at least 2 seasons like where you felt adamantly like checked out by the time the discussion was starting, and it was like category seasons, the pick for each other one, all of that. Like
Oh my God.
it was like season 2, season 3, effectively. Like that whole burst of it was.
Well,
like,
that was more in like the anger phase of death or whatever.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
because
yeah.
like that
You hadn't reached
you got it
acceptance
for
where
you.
you're at
I
now
got
with it.
acceptance
Yeah,
yet.
Yeah, you haven't realized that
Acceptance
this.
was the quiet phase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
So we can play Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. That first episode where I'm just looking at the manual,
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to play while Octopath Traveler's going.
We never did figure out how to play that game either. By the time we
It learned
finished
how to
it.
play us though.
Yeah,
Yes,
boy
it
did
did.
it. Boy did it.
Anything last to say to the 62 subscribers we currently have?
Let's
We
let's
got
hope for
new
another
one.
200.
Yeah, we got a new one. I saw that.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we get
Well, I mean, if we can hit 500, then we might be able to become a monetized channel.
Yeah. If we hit 69.
That's a huge. I mean, that's a huge goal.
That's a lot of change we'll have to make that, and we're not going to do that.
We just need to start putting out more Lorcana one, which good for you. I actually just bought 50 packs of Lorcana straight from Walmart because I have an inside source that I heard when it got put up.
You bought 50 packs?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So Mark works at Walmart and he was like, they just put them out. And I said, be right there. And I literally walked in. They were right next to the self-checkout one, no limit. I just took the whole display.
Damn.
Flipped it over.
You're one of those
Scan,
people
scan.
that are taking pictures on Reddit, and it's like my kid just wanted one
Nah.
pack to try playing, and
Fuck them
this
kids.
guy
They want
is
to play.
getting all of them.
They want to
yeah.
play, they go play where the locals are. That's where it is. Listen, I'm not hoarding every single one of those cards, just all the good ones.
I mean, I
And
would
then I
like
give the
it.
trash out.
I would like it if we made this channel more like hobbies kind
Yeah.
of theme, where like like them two
Well,
have
I'm gonna
dabbled
be
in it.
streaming WoW tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
like
great.
The new season
Yeah,
of Discovery
and-
starts tomorrow, and I've taken the next 2 days off, and I'm gonna be playing for like 4 days.
Yeah,
I
and-
like it.
And we're gonna start our Baldur's Gate stream here real soon.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We're
Actually,
getting
to be
that up off the
fair,
ground any day now.
We
Dude,
can't even play Act 3
hear
at
me
the
out,
moment.
hear me out,
because
hear me out,
of
hear me
the
out.
recent
Alright,
update.
alright.
Oh,
What
is there
you
a
got,
bug?
Mason?
In a
It's like
rogue
game-breaking for God
fashion,
free
right? So that's happening, right?
Okay.
There's just a random live session. You guys get that notification on your phone. Oh, what the hell? Our channel's live.
Oh, okay.
Wait, we're all busy doing stuff, and you see it's me playing pool at Q time.
Yeah!
And dude.
I honestly,
I want it. I want to tune in.
unironically, would
Yeah,
love
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen, Mason?
You
It's gonna
really
have
should-
half the screen here, half my comments here.
That's my boy.
That's my boy. Get him.
Mason, you're making a joke, but I honestly, I think that'd be really fitting.
I don't know. The only bad thing is you couldn't have the music playing. In the
and there's music.
We'd get demonetized for sure.
Have to mute it.
We'd get double demonetized already. Yeah.
We'd get a strike on our channel.
We would.
We've even gotten off the ground.
We can't take that.
I keep toying with the idea, like if he's gonna do pool content, you all have got streaming. I keep thinking about trying to do a review, but
I literally just think, fuck it. My idea with the channel is like literally like, sure, this is our like main bread and butter, but like anytime anything comes up, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh yeah, just put it on there.
The amount of times I sit there and think I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll just stream some pixel board games or whatever. I'll just kind of talk Lorcana with it. I'll talk Final Fantasy with it. I want to do. Oh, you know what game I need you to get here soon. I know you're already geared up, but you need to get
Lethal Company.
Lies of P. Although Lethal Company got pitched to me recently.
So if there were a game that I think would be a lot of fun to play, that's like a recent and topical game. It's $10. Lethal Company.
It's blowing up. All my friends are playing.
My friends are all.
It looks really funny.
What is
it looks very entertaining. It's like a survival horror thing in space. The graphics are terrible, so you could probably play it on any laptop.
Yeah.
Imagine like it's.
We'll
show you.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're getting way into
that's
the
our
weeds.
show. So if you want more of all of that content, if that sounds good, if you showed up to Burger King and you said I want the Whopper, but then you saw chicken fries and then you saw like all these other yummy things.
And then you said, I'm at Burger King. I'm going to go home.
No. And then
you say, oh, I'm at Burger King. Well, it must be the 90s, and I'm here to get the Pokemon toys.
Bingo. Why else am I here? Also, what a good time to be alive.
Have it my way.
Let me go buy a house real quick. Several, in fact.
With a few Whoppers.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's our show. As always, if you continue to love and support the content we're doing, man, we just 200 reviews of movies, man. Come on, give us a fat fucking thumbs up. Put the like down there. Hit us with the subs.
Give us a tip.
Give us a what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Just
that's
the
true.
tip, though.
Just the tip, though.
No.
Hit the bell.
There's a tip button down there.
The tip of the bell.
Yeah.
I
What?
didn't know
We
that.
may not have it because we don't have an account set up.
We don't
with
have an account
YouTube.
set up. It would just go to YouTube. If you can tip right now, don't do that.
Just get that silly plastic card. Just those little silly numbers on the front.
Take a picture of it.
Take a picture of it. Put it in the comments.
Damn it! Right to the FN podcast.
And then those 3 numbers on the back, we'll take those too. And then the expiration.
Yeah, it's easy.
They're so
it's
silly.
You know, CVV? Yeah, you know me. You know what I mean? Just send it right into our DMs. Yeah, you tell me.
Just kidding. We don't want any of your data. So please.
I'll take it. It's okay. I'm less ethical.
I'm trying to future-proof
Less
us.
ethical.
In that way. Listen, off the clock.
It'll just be more Lorcana cards.
Yeah, more or less. Listen,
We'll make it into content. Tax write-off.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's our
Goes
show.
to jail.
Oh, don't do that. Make sure to tune in. Next week. Is this gonna come out?
Yeah, it'll be.
I don't know how this is gonna be released. Yeah. Tune in. You'll see Manar here soon.
We got regular content all December.
All the time. Check out for WoW. Check out for Liza P. Check out Lorcana Pixelborn. All the good stuff. Go check out Mason at the pool hall.
Yeah.
Go cheer him on. I want him to go clear.
Cowabunga, bro.
Cowabunga, bro. Until next time.
Kimia.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Kimia. We gotta sing
I was-
it out for the 200th
Man,
one.
I was seriously, I kind of hate that I said that out loud. I was going to just randomly place that onto YouTube, too, and just be